All right, welcome back to the San Diego Bass Fishing Podcast. Today we have Mike Walsh, and he's going to be coming over and talking with us about what's going on in San Diego. The couple of things I want to touch on before he gets here. First of all, please like, share, and subscribe. We're growing the channel. We're putting out videos. And please subscribe. The subscriptions really help us out a lot. So I'd like to acknowledge some people that have helped me out and helped out local tournaments and whatever in San Diego. I guess you could call them sponsors. I don't really put a name to them or whatever. I know they've helped me out in my guide business and whatever. But anyway, so enough of that. Thank you to iRod. He's first on my list. Matt Newman helps me out a bunch with the fishing rods for my boat. There's a couple of fishing rods that I really enjoy of his. One of them being the Alabama Special. That thing, it sells itself. It's the best. My opinion, it's the best Alabama rod on the market for throwing umbrella rigs. I've definitely won some money with that. And then my next favorite is that light flip junk. And that thing, anytime I'm using a rod, anytime I'm throwing a swim jig, a mag draft, bigger swim jigs, that's the rod I go to. I throw buzz baits with it. Usually have it on 15 pound with a 7 to 1 reel, sometimes an 8 to 1 reel, depending on what I'm doing with it. But it has a nice, more of a parabolic bend. It's funny because I don't use it for flipping. It's one thing that I don't use it for is flipping, but in casting and getting it far distances, it's a little bit longer. It's 7.6, and so it's good for covering distances. It has enough power into it to land those fish. In fact, that's the one rod that I landed my biggest fish on. It was like 11 and a half pounder. And that was on a swim jig at Lower Otay. But that light flip junk from iRods is a winner. A-rig rod is a winner. There's just a whole list of them. He's come out with a lot of great blanks and a lot of great actions. PB Rat, George Pernicano does a great job. It's one of the best rats on the market. According to Swimbait Universe, I guess it's arguably one of the best rats on the market. Everybody's got their opinion. But for me personally, PB Rats, get bit. I love the three-piece rat. I love the three-piece mouse, also a two-piece mouse. I know the two-piece rat is one of the favorites in East County Bait and Tackle. We sell a number of those, and like Kevin Norling was on here on one of our podcasts, and he talked about the two-piece PB rat as one of his favorites, one of his go-to topwaters. So for me personally, I've caught the most rat fish I've caught on a rat was on that three-piece PB rat, and that thing just gets bit. It has good sound as it's coming through the water. It kind of has a swish, like a sh. It doesn't have a clack. There's no clacking going on. But so I think that's probably one of the reasons it gets bit as well as it does. Shimano reels. Shimano's great to us. I've worked with Shimano for a long time, a number of years, and they've always treated me well. The East County Bait and Tackle, I can't say enough good things about the local tackle shop, East County Bait and Tackle. They are a huge promoter of local bass fishing, local tournaments. They always give away, even if they're not sponsoring, they do their own tournament series, but they also give away gift cards for the ABA. They give away gift cards for a number of other tournaments. They support the whole thing. SoCal Juniors, they're always a huge supporter of SoCal Juniors. So if you guys, before you go and click that button on the Tackle Warehouse website, go check out East County Bait and Tackle. They probably have what you need. And Mike Panarese keeps a really good job of keeping it well stocked. We just got they just got new shiner tanks. I know this is kind of funny, but it is bass fishing. And they just got new tanks, bigger aluminum tanks for their shiners. So there's going to be more shiners there available for you when you come in. Less chance of running out. And the shiners are living better in these bigger tanks. Beautiful tanks. Mike Walsh, who is going to be on later, plumbed them all for us, and he did a great job with that. Sims, I've worked with Sims for a long time, and they do me right. They have some great rain gear, that's for darn sure. And I'd like to say I throw out a shout out to San Diego Bassmasters. It's the largest, oldest club in San Diego, and they have meetings first Tuesday of every month, which is tomorrow night, which will be tonight once this video comes out. If you'd like to attend one of our meetings, it's at the La Mesa Adult Enrichment Center, downtown La Mesa. Starts at 6. Their meetings start at 6:30, and like I said, it's on the first Tuesday of every month. Largest, oldest club, bass club, competitive bass club in San Diego. I love those guys. I've been a part of that club for a number of years now, and I'm not planning on going anywhere. We do a lot of good for the community. We help out a lot. We do a lot of volunteer work. And that's about it for now. So hopefully I didn't forget anybody, but onward to Mike Walsh. We saw that a lot in tuna fishing.
Yeah.
It depends on where the hook is and how it's laying with like the hinge of the jaw.
Yep.
And they would snap if they were pulled different ways, or they would just pull out.
Yeah.
But you're saying that same thing with largemouth bass and like
Correct.
treble hooks,
Correct.
crankbaits,
Correct.
that kind of thing, which
Topwater, anything.
totally makes sense because
Topwater, anything.
I've gotten them back, and I know I didn't crank on the hook to get it out. I just pull it out and I look at it, and it's like, I was like, how'd that happen?
So yeah.
But yeah, it's just certain ways that hooks the fish.
Well, yeah, and
I mean, where you hook it, like in the jaw.
Well, yeah, and you're talking about fish that are reacting to something.
Yeah.
And so whether it's topwater, whether it's crankbaits, whether it's whatever it is, a moving bait. We'll just call it a moving bait. When they're biting a moving bait, you do not know necessarily how they eat it. So it could be a glide bait, it could be a big topwater, it could be crankbait, it could be whatever,
Yeah.
And you're in a swim bait or a chatterbait is totally different. Single hook, you kind of the fish bites, and same thing. You want to feel a little pressure, and then you kind of are loading. You're pulling back as it loaded up. Well, I've had crank bites where in the wintertime you crawl on the bait so slow, and then it's just a tick, and then I do pull because a lot of times he jabs at it, and he's got the back hook, and then it's at the lip. So then it's like, okay, he's on, and then you baby the fish.
Yeah.
Because you know that he barely bit it, and you probably have one hook, maybe 2 points in him, and then they're lazy, but the fact that he didn't turn and pull hard means, there's a good chance that the bait's not like pinned really well. And so then you just don't want to jump, and you do whatever and get them in the boat as quick as possible.
Yeah.
But now with summer, like these fish are fired up, and I'm sure you see it, hook them, and then they scream off, and then they come up, go ballistic, and then they rocket down the bottom, and or whatever, So it's a lot different fight.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so anyway, welcome back to the San Diego Bass Fishing Podcast. Today we have Mike Walsh, return guest. Today we're just talking about the state of San Diego bass fishing.
post big events.
Post big events, yeah.
Leaning towards the end of summer.
So congratulations, you guys 8th, 9th?
We got 9th.
9th.
But we were fortunate enough. We had a good day at Sam City. Not great day of fishing, but we fished hard, and a couple of the spots that we really lean on, or like our go-tos, I guess you could say, produced.
Yeah.
With those quality fish, like
now? So for San Vicente, and you were at San Vicente the first day.
No,
second day.
Second day. Yeah.
Okay, so at San Vicente, what's quality fish, and what do you weigh in?
Well, quality fish. Joe,
Right now.
my partner, he ended up weighing in one just under 5 pounds.
Oh,
Which at CMV is really good. I mean,
wow.
At CMV, if you get,
I didn't know you guys got that one.
If you find a 3-pounder, it seems like that's like, gold. But to get 4 or 5 of them is almost impossible.
Right.
And you'd think with how skinny the fish are,
Mm.
they'd eat any bait going down the bottom or any
Yeah.
bait there is. But there's, a lot of fish are still so keyed in on those stupid silver side
Mm-hmm.
that you have to be right there at the right spot, land in its face as it's whatever. Otherwise, they ignore it and they'll go below 100 calories, whatever, 200 calories, whatever it is
Yeah.
for the fish, to chase these stupid things down instead of just scooping up or looking for crawdads or bluegills or whatever they can.
Mhm.
But San Vicente and Otay are leaning on, a lot of lean fish right now, thin fish.
Yeah, both of them are.
And then, so we had just over 12. I had one that,
That's okay. So you had over 12 pounds at
Yeah.
San Vicente.
unfortunately, we had one. I had one
Great day right now.
dead stick bite. So I just basically we watched the cast. We saw some fish. I threw out there and I just let my worm sink. And already in that morning, I was noticing, you fish go down to it. You're either minnow fishing, stuff like that. You move the bait at all in the sink, and they take off.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
they're watching it. We watch them on the graph. You watch your worm going down, and then they still swim up to it,
Yeah.
like right on top of it, and then they veer off all by themselves.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things. I'm like, I'm just gonna dead stick it. Just cast out. It sinks. We're watching fish. They're sinking. A couple fish go down. One fish looks, and it just sits there. And then I'm like, all right, well my line's on the bottom, but it didn't move. I'm just gonna let it sit. And I'm just, it's one of those things. It's hard to not pick up your rod, but just let it sit. And then, I just started picking up the slack, and then just felt a little bit of pressure, and just wound into him. And he was choked. He had choked it, but
Right.
we had a dead finish penalty on that because he got it down a ways, but
Our only
that was
dead-
our second biggest fish.
Yeah. Oh.
And he
okay.
wasn't the 3-pounder or anything, but it was like when we first caught that one, we were like, oh my god, it's a real fish.
Yeah.
But it was 2 and whatever, 3/4.
We didn't weigh a 2-pounder in that day.
It was brutal.
I don't know how many you caught.
I didn't.
Everybody caught a bunch.
Yeah. To be fair, okay, I fished East County night tournament, right?
Uh-huh.
I went out there before the night tournament as my only practice. I didn't go back to San Vicente.
Yeah.
The 2-day, Joe was like, I'll go to, he was going to focus on Sam Vicente. He's like, I'm going to leave you with Otay because you're a little bit more in tune. You like Otay a little bit more. And so, I fished the ABA at Otay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there, and so I was there recently, and I kind of knew what was going on, what I wanted to do. But I went to Otay on Wednesday before the 2-day, pull up to the lake and launched a boat, and then no power to the trolling motor.
That's right. You had
And so, and so I was like, oh, great, and so I just went to a spot that I wanted to look at, and I caught 2 good ones for Otay,
Mm.
and then that was in literally like 15 minutes. And
Yeah.
then I was like, well, I can't go fishing bank, and I can't go control my boat, so it's like, I'll just go look at some areas. I graphed around, and then I literally like drifted over 2 patches of rock and transition areas where I could like point, with no power. There was actually no power to the troll motor. So I just spun the head to focus my active target and kind of panned around a couple areas and fished, and then just saw some stuff. And then it was so crowded. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going to sit here.
Yeah.
And so that was my practice.
Yeah.
And then he went out to Sam Vicente, found some stuff. Of course, you don't know your draw until the day before.
Right.
So in my mind, I was always the toughest lake. You want the first day, obviously, because it gets beat up so bad that day 2, it's either a super struggle or the fish are doing something completely different. To where
Right.
if your main pattern was reaction or like running a gun, like really aggressive fish, those fish are gone. Those fish got caught the day
Mhm.
before. You know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, we were lucky. We got Otay the first day. CMB, we got it second day. And I don't even know if there were skiers on any water. They said there's no water contact at San Vicente on Monday, or it wasn't.
We didn't see any. I didn't see any.
Yeah, see, I don't know that they would ever turn anybody away.
Right.
But
I didn't,
if it was pretty much all fishermen still.
yeah, I didn't notice any.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, same thing in the past, like they didn't always buy the lake or close it.
Right,
So it
right,
was open to the public.
Yeah.
So then it's like you're at the mercy of whoever shows up.
right. But Tuesday
condition.
was closed.
Tuesday was closed.
Yeah.
We had a great draw. We had a bad draw. I would say a bad draw at Otay, but it worked out because the spot I wanted was open,
Yeah.
and we were like 5th from the last boat or whatever it was, you know,
Yeah.
or 3rd from the last boat. Went there, catch a 4-pounder, like 5th cast, and then we catch a couple more, and then we go to shoot off to fish another spot, and then the boat breaks down. Joe's boat, engine troubles. So at Otay we were dead stick. You know, not really, but you know,
Yeah.
we're floating in the middle of the lake, because that's where we were going from the front to the back, and so we were kind of crossing through the buoys. We broke down, and then just no power. So we're like, all right, we'll get up, and then fortunate enough, I guess there were enough fish like in that middle area that came up. We caught a couple real quick, and then actually filled our limit.
Mhm.
And then it was like, okay, you know, do we want to minnow fish, or do we want to go to banks, or do
Right.
we want whatever? It was all troll motor, so
So, yeah, but you had the trolling motor.
we had the troll
so
motor.
that's cool. I
So that was
guess,
his,
you know.
yeah. So we were, well, it was just one of those things. We were headed to Harvey actually
Yeah.
at that point,
Yeah.
somewhere in Harvey or
Right.
somewhere in Otay. It was gonna be, let's check Harvey before we go into Otay kind of thing.
Oh, okay, okay. You don't have to confuse me.
But anyways, it was just one of those things.
I picked up on that.
We were stuck. And yeah, it was one of those things like
Did you minnow fish the rest of the day, or did you go to the bank?
we caught a couple minnow, and then it just wasn't working. We weren't getting the coals. You know, we coaled,
Yeah.
and then it was like, okay, here's a short one, or this one's it's a keeper, but it's not gonna coal.
Yeah.
And then it's also like we saw how small the bait was that they're puking up there,
Uh-huh.
and it's tiny.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, well, they come up and look at your bait every time, but same thing. They were so keyed in on a lot of those schools of fish that we saw were keyed in on bait that was smaller than your pinky nail. Like we're
Yeah.
talking like guppy size, like
Yeah.
you know. And it's just one of those things that's almost impossible to duplicate. Sometimes you get a fish that sees the bigger meal and will go for the bigger meal.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of casting and no result kind of thing, or
Yeah.
follow, and then he turns away.
So,
But,
okay, so anyway, that's the 2-day.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Parker and Andy Giddings.
Oh, exactly. They caught them good. Yeah.
They smoked them.
We saw them. Well, they fished with us, so
In the morning.
we fished in Otay.
Yeah.
They were in the same lake,
Right.
and so yeah, as of
Yeah.
we ended up.
That's the
seeing
rumor
Parker.
going around.
We saw Parker, and then it was you know, they had according to them, they said maybe 10 something pounds, 10
Yeah.
12 pounds maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know. And then they actually, we already broken down, so we were kind of coming in opposite sides of the same area.
Mm.
And then since we know each other, we kind of chit-chatted back and forth and compared days. And then they fished a spot, and then they said, well, if you're broken down, we'll give you the rest of the thing. And then so they took off, and then we talked to them after weigh-in. And they culled like 4 fish, culled up big time. So
Yeah, we went back into Otay later in the day, and it was great. It was great fishing, but everything was 2.5 pounds.
well,
Just
I
like
loved it.
what they said, like 10 pounds, 10.5
Yeah.
pounds, 11,
Yeah.
12. That's what we got.
Yeah, well, I would have loved to have
I didn't
2.5 pounds with a 4
Yeah.
pound kicker or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I think if we got on earlier and stayed with it, we
Yeah.
could have had 15 pounds.
yeah,
So I did get a 3. I got a couple of 2.5s, blah blah blah. And I know we only had it for like an hour and a half. I culled everything out.
yeah.
you
That's
know.
the thing, is the bite window for the 2-day. Unfortunately, it was at a time where we have the 6-hour rule in California.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like you really don't get the afternoon condition,
right.
any
And
wind
then-
starting and stuff until
And-
after weigh-in usually, and so that's a whole game changer right there.
My partner, so we got drawn for San Vicente first,
Okay.
and but then we got drawn the second boat out, and you should have seen, and then which was fine, but then my partner didn't realize it was
It
a 6-hour
reversed.
tournament.
Oh.
And just you could see like the blood run out of his face, like, oh, like this big defeat, like.
Oh, it is.
Because all of our fish in practice were like afternoon fish,
Yeah.
2 o'clock, 1:30.
It's tough. Sometimes you
2 o'clock.
could say those fish will still be there and bite, but you need the conditions earlier to make it like that.
Absolutely need the
You
conditions.
know, that's the unfortunate thing.
Ours was all based on conditions. We've run the same pattern and we found it again
Yeah.
in the past, and it's all condition related, and it's all always late in the day.
And isn't it funny, or do you find it, have you found it, if you get the breezy conditions in the morning, it is not the same as breezy conditions in the afternoon.
Yeah.
The fish,
Sure.
the fish do not usually react the same way, whether the wind's going.
Oh,
it
no,
doesn't matter.
no, they're totally different.
Yeah, those fish, like, if it's like you wake up, they want an easy morning, whatever it is. They
Yeah.
want calm, they want
Yeah.
nice conditions go around. If it's breezy first thing, like, you might get some dumb, quick fish, but those fish do not just start chewing like the ones do in the afternoon.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's probably the same thing. It's all completely different group of fish. But it's always funny. Some people think that they're going to bite in the afternoon, or they're biting in the afternoon, they're going to bite here all day.
No, no, not even close. We don't even go to the same areas. It's like leave it
Yeah.
alone and just go and do something else, and then, hopefully that stuff
Yeah.
happens in the
And
afternoon.
we didn't really even talk about like our pattern for 2 day. It was kind of like, it was the same thing at CMB. It was like, okay, you try and get your minnow fish or topwater fish or some reaction fish, and then grind out whatever you can't get, and then try and either cull up or get some good ones on plastics,
Yeah.
And the morning bite for CMB, it was actually going off, but it was impossible to catch them. And then it got to the point where we just felt like we were wasting time, so we had to, audible and change. And
Mm-hmm.
we did find a good group of fish, quality-wise,
Yeah.
that was feeding, coming up, but it was one of those things like, how much more time are we going to sit here waiting and see if we can catch them,
Right.
or should we just go start grinding it out? And
Right.
so
Yeah.
we left them and went for some spots and tried, plastics, and started dragging and catching some fish, and
Yeah.
came back in the afternoon and we got a little bit of a condition, but we didn't really call up anything. We kind of ran short on time. It was like the last 30 minutes,
Right.
and it was just starting to set up for a good bite. But
Yeah. So Todd Hoverson and
you fished the same
Carl
day,
Limbrick, they finished second.
20-pound bag.
We were in line behind them.
Yeah.
They started
Sure
pulling
is.
these out, and they were those skinny, big-headed fish. So they
Yeah.
all look like 6-pounders.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, wow, I was on a different lake.
Well, it's one of those things too. It
Jesus.
is like, I've seen it very rarely that the lake produces better on the second day.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could say it's just pure condition, or if it was actually the fish. There were so many fish of whatever caliber that were eating on the one day that got caught, and then
I
the
think
better ones were.
I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were. But I get the impression that they had a school. They had an area
Yeah.
that had bigger fish in it, and
Yeah.
then it didn't. It may have got hit on the first day,
Yeah.
but probably not.
Well, and I know Todd's a
But
power
that's just
fisherman.
the
Yeah.
impression I get.
Yeah.
That doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah. I mean, I heard him talking, a little bit and stuff when they did their little speech, but I know
Right.
Todd is, his strengths, he loves power fishing.
Sure.
But he does, switch it up, and he's able
Uh-huh.
to drag and versatile. Carl is like a finesse king, drop shot, Nico rig, Ned rig.
So I don't know that. I don't know Carl.
Carl is.
I know Carl, but I don't know Carl.
Yeah, Carl. He's one of those guys. Like he's a grinder. He can pick it apart, fish
Yeah.
slower than anybody else. And he was saying that they got some reaction fish in the morning, and then the reaction kind of died off, and then
Yeah.
he said his finesse tactics ended up catching him some good fish. So I believe in one too. I talked to
Yeah.
somebody else that said that they were showing themselves on the reaction bait but wouldn't commit, and then a follow-up bait got them 3 good ones.
No. Good.
Um,
That's good.
It's always a challenge though.
Who's third?
That was Adam East
Oh,
and Dennis Colander.
Dennis
The
Colander.
champions from last year.
Can't argue with that.
I mean, they did.
They were on the other. They were on the other day too. I mean,
Yeah.
the opposite of our team.
I saw. Well, they fished. I talked to Dennis and Adam. I know both of them, but yeah, Dennis. I know just from a brief talk, like I don't know, a couple weeks before, that he was definitely planning on the day bite, like not just your first thing in the morning to get on a spot. So it was one of those things that becomes that's a grinder. Usually tournament morning you might get an hour of good reaction or good foolishness of fish, and then you got to settle in and go back to worming or methodical stuff. So I think same thing. They're a pair of versatile fishermen. That
Adam's been around forever,
and
Adam knows how to catch them.
Yeah, he may not fish as much as he used to, but definitely your tactics and your skill set doesn't fade away usually on stuff like that.
Yeah,
patience is always there.
So just kind of to break away from that, what's going on at the local lakes? How are they fishing right now?
Well, you tell me. You caught a 10-pounder the other day.
Oh, fuck. Pardon my French.
Well, okay, so I haven't been on the water too much.
One fish.
I haven't been on the water too much recently. I mean, I went to those tournaments pretty much.
Yeah. But you hadn't fished since then?
And then fun fish, I got out, the days that I got out, I fished at that East County tournament.
Yeah.
That was my practice for San Vicente. I just basically checked the grass lines, checked banks, because I was kind of more concerned about nighttime, not throwing baits into the grass, hoping I was getting on clean rock or something. But yeah, my truck's in the shop. I'm happy to get it back pretty quick here, and hopefully I'll be able to get on the lakes and do some more fishing because I'm missing out on the summer.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, obviously Otay is pretty good, and I think it's getting better.
The bite's good. Yeah, you just got to weed through smaller fish.
Yeah.
But numbers, you can catch. I don't know. You probably realistically, if you went through the motions and started
and tried to
power
catch them?
fishing, and then actually, didn't get stubborn,
right?
Weren't stubborn,
exactly.
And then
That's
you pick up the worm at say like 9 o'clock,
yeah,
maybe 8:30 to 9, depending on the condition.
Yeah. And
you worm until say the wind comes up, or 1 o'clock ish maybe. You probably could have a 30 on the slow end to a 50, 60 fish a day at Otay, I think.
Yeah.
San Vicente, man, those fish are there. But if you avoid the breakers and just probably threw small baits and then just started picking stuff apart, you could probably still catch. I know it's tough, but you probably, including all the little guys, you probably still catch 20 to 30 fish.
That's what I was thinking.
At San Vicente.
You catch 20 to 30 fish at San Vicente.
And that, you don't have to minnow them all day long. You don't have to do whatever. If you stick around like obvious areas and fish where they're going to just be moving up and down points or boulder patches, kind of mix it all up. I think both lakes are fishing good enough. It's just really the guys that are concerned about the quality. That are struggling.
Right. It's
too few and far between.
You're not going to go out there and throw a glide bait and catch 20 fish.
No.
And you're not going to go out there and throw a chatterbait and catch 20 fish.
At San, Yeah.
No, I mean at Otay.
Oh yeah, either one. Yeah,
either one.
Yeah.
So, but if you play the game, you can go out there and have good fishing, numbers wise.
Absolutely.
And maybe catch a 4-pounder or whatever at either lake,
But that's the thing.
Or bigger fish. I mean, there's good big fish at Otay right now.
Well, someone caught a 10-pounder on day 2 at Otay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a monster. Same thing, a summertime 10.
It's so funny about that fish. Like he was number 1 boat out, and he ran right to that spot. And
so apparently, or where he caught.
And come to find out, like after the tournament, whatever, we were talking to some people. John and Craig had been on that spot like all day the day before.
Well,
and then they were like, I think we hooked it, but we can't be sure, like come off.
Well,
and but yeah, there was. I mean, it's a known fit. It's a known spot.
Yeah.
And it's a good setup for big fish. And
so we're talking alpha structure, basically,
Oh yeah.
Best features.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Without giving
deep water, shallow water, bait transition, a lot of water movement, all this. So
let's be realistic too. Otay does not have a lot of that. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
you fish a tournament at Otay, and depending on the water level, I always tell people in the night, night tournament guys, like I fish night tournaments, and then it's like Otay. I tell them, I say maybe there's like realistically 12 decent spots or pretty good spots
Yeah.
at Otay.
Yeah.
I'm like, so if you draw 40 boats, you're either hoping that other people are just randomly going up and down the Tules or moving, and then you can either get on one of those good spots, or the fish are up and scattered enough to where you can go down the shoreline yourself,
Yeah.
pick stuff apart.
Right.
CMV, I mean, it's if the structure's there, the cover on the structure is there, the food base is not there.
Right. You're looking
So you gotta,
You're looking for that food.
you gotta wander around and hope that the fish are smart enough to find the food on the good spots, so you don't feel like you're just fishing in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it activates them.
Yeah, well, okay, are you a structure fisherman? I know in a way you
Yeah.
obviously do at certain times. But there's guys that are structure fishermen, and there's guys that are just blindly out there just fishing, maybe don't even pay attention that it's the structure with the fish are on, but like some people will go down a bank and just chuck worms and drag worms down
I
the whole
don't
thing.
do that.
I'm stuck more now, and I've become more now like I want to feel like I'm in the best spots, and I'm presenting my bait where the fish are or where they're comfortable and they're feeding there, hanging out there, whatever. So I find myself definitely wanting to be putting my bait where the fish should be a lot of the time. Not just chucking a bait down the shoreline and doing that.
I find it a novelty to go down the shore and just chuck them line. Like I took Nick Meyer out the other day, and I'm like, Nick, we're just gonna go out here and we're gonna fish some spots, but this is what we're doing. We're gonna go down the bank, we're gonna cover water. And that's gonna be it. That's what we're gonna do today. And I'm not gonna worry about trying to put us in the right position at the right time at this part of the day. We're just gonna go fishing. And we did. And it was fun.
There are
Great
times
day.
though that it's a depth thing and you could do that. Like the fish could be filtered up and down places and feeding so much to where you can still have phenomenal days. Like going down the bank and putting your baits in 10 to 15 or something like that.
We caught fish. It was good fishing, relatively good fishing, but it wasn't as good as some other fishing that was going on that I know of.
Gotcha.
I mean, we could have drug worms or whatever.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
Well, and
I didn't want to.
if I'm fun fishing, I'm not going to go out there and pick up a drop shot.
Right.
Like
it was.
I may
it was
have
like
it on that
It was like a fun day.
rig,
We just went out there for a few hours,
Yeah.
and that's what we did. So.
And that's also how sometimes you gotta, you improve your skill tactics and stuff, or get more familiar with things, more confident in things. If maybe you need to go out there and, chatterbait's not necessarily just chuck it, wind it in. There's things about the chatterbait, retrieve it, either maybe the fish are near grass, so you gotta snatch it in and out of the grass or on the cover. Maybe they're fishing slow enough and they're in boulders, but they want you more like a pump or a yo-yo on a chatterbait, not just a straight retrieve.
Yeah.
Crankbaits, I pride myself and I love a crankbait bite, but I don't often crank blindly down the bank or just chuck and wind. I'm targeting either same thing, like the depth, the cover that's on that depth, or I'm looking and seeing where the fish are in relation to it. Then I may throw ultra shallow and then work my way out deep or whatever. But like I got on a bite, like we were just talking, it was super specific, and I took a buddy out and we went fishing and we mixed it up in the morning, got some crankbait fish, got some wormfish, stayed throughout the day, finished it back up, and it got into a little shade situation and stuff, and then came back on the crankbait, and they were 100% keyed in on ambush spots.
Yeah.
In this case, it was boulders, and so. Like basically, you could just, my buddy that wasn't, is not as, he doesn't have hardly any time on the water, we'll just say. But so he's a novice, we'll call him a novice, but he's just chucking, can't get the bait where he wants it necessarily because he's not used to freshwater fishing much. But he was catching fish. But his were just fan casting in areas, and there were other key boulders and things like that. I'm on the scope and I'm positioning the boat and I see it, and so it'll pan with the wind, whatever, and I see where a rock is, and I see where the bank is, and I was literally lining up, and then I'd cast, crank, hit the rock. I'd either have a fish on or miss it. Then I'd crank down, and I got in a line where I was basically a 1-2 punch. Like first beginning of cast, there was my bite window. 20 more feet, there's my other bite window. And I could pull, and then it was like right there, bring it up, cast again.
Yeah.
And the fish were doing that. The fish were roaming all around, but the fish that were biting were on the boulders.
Uh-huh.
We're using the boulders for ambush,
Yeah.
for shad. And it was like literally. Like,
So anyway, that's our third lake that we're talking about, and that would be El Capitan.
okay, yeah.
And so El Cap has been, the first two were good, but El Cap has been really good, in my opinion.
I haven't been in a while.
So
I want to.
you know, we've been talking about it at the store, and there's a few of us that have been going out there, and I had a guide trip out there, and it's a good reaction bite in the morning. Actually, the reaction bite has been all day. It's better in the morning, but you can get it all day. And I am talking about crankbaits here. It's really not a secret. I know this is going to go out tomorrow, but even so, nobody listens to this.
There's so many areas of the lake.
Actually, they do, and it's so funny because I say that now. Nobody listens to that because I'll get in trouble from somebody listening to the podcast. And
Yeah,
like,
that's one of the things.
you said that on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. But anyway, back to El Capitan. El Capitan, there's a few things going on, and the crankbait bite in the morning is good. You can throw different colors, whatever, medium runners, go down the bank and catch fish. Of course, there's going to be spots that are better than others. You're going to have bigger fish on them, they're going to have smaller fish, whatever, but if you just pick up a crankbait and go down the bank, you're going to catch some fish. Worm bite has been great. It's actually been better than the crankbait bite. Drag a worm, Texas rig, free rig, drop shot. I haven't thrown a Carolina rig out there.
They bite in the summer. I'm sure
So,
they're eating it.
but I'm sure they bite
Yeah.
it. And then the third thing is is that darn aerator. Have you
Now-
fished the aerator yet?
Yes, I have not fished it. I'm honest to God, I
went out
see
there
it
one
driving
day.
around.
I've only
You know,
been out there
driving
one
in.
time and fished it.
So I noticed when it first went in, right? So you see it bubbling, and you see the current, you see the bubbles and all that, right? Well, then as it went on, you start to see the separation of color.
Uh-huh.
You see the green and then the black. When I say black, it's the clear, dark water
Yeah.
that's in the rest of the lake. And then you see guys obviously fishing it. And my most recent time at El Cap, when I was fishing it, I would show up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, because I'd have a good evening.
Yeah.
And it depends. It would be mercy of wind, and so I'd see guys, sometimes there'd be 8 boats fishing that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what they're doing. It's one of those things that's do you want to get in there and do it though?
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
it's community whole, but then it's also going to be like kind of a grudge, you know.
At this point, it's like the community hole of the
Yeah.
community holes on
Yeah.
all the lakes. Like you get.
I'd say they put it in a great spot, obviously. You know, I mean, it's
Sure.
a good spot for summertime for
Uh-huh.
the aerator to be in, and
Yeah.
the fish and the bait go over there.
It's
But
just loaded with bait.
I can
I
imagine.
mean, you can, and it's not small. Like some of the shad,
Yeah.
like the threadfin
That's
are
awesome.
like they're
That's-
like big. You see
that-
them in the water like cruising around,
That is awesome.
and then you see some that are like this.
yeah,
big.
yeah.
So it's all different sizes. The fish, in my opinion, and from what I've heard, are generally smaller.
Well, yeah, that's
And
the
that's
lazy
why
guy.
I
Yeah.
haven't been fishing.
Yeah, we know it. Like the lazy fish, the bigger fish are usually going to wait for food to come to them or exert as little energy as possible
Right.
to get their meal.
Right.
So that's where your little guys are going to be up there chasing
Yeah.
everything around.
There's a
blitzing
lot
everything.
of 2-pounders, 2 to 3.5 pound
That's
fish.
fun fishing. You can't
Absolutely.
complain. So if
I mean,
people
what
are
else
like,
do you
"Oh,
want?"
it's too small," no, go out there.
No.
El Cap is a
Yeah.
great lake. Right now, too, with the water level, I think El Cap is a great lake for people of all skill sets or experiences to go out, because
Yeah.
you don't have 100 foot of brush to get snagged and tangled in like you do at San Vicente with quaggas. So
Oh my God.
you go out to
that
El
quaggas.
Cap, you can go fishing. There's some grass, obviously. There's rock,
Yeah.
which is there. But there's a little bit of, wood or brush in the water to get hung up on. But it's a good time and depth to try and fish a lot of different things.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's fun. Therefore, it's fun. You start catching fish on different things, and
Yep.
you're enjoying it.
So most of the guys at the aerator are throwing jighead minnows of a variety, different kinds, flukes,
Bait fish stuff, basically.
bait fish
Yeah.
stuff. It's all bait fish stuff.
Yeah.
Spoons, the little spoons, the jig paras, 6-pound test, 8-pound test. I was throwing 10, whatever. They're biting that. There was the Alpine Fisheries guys in their center console. Have you seen
Yep.
the orange
Yeah,
boat?
I know the guy. Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
owner.
They had
Trolling, I bet.
No.
Really?
I don't know how many dozens of shiners they had on the boat,
Oh, okay.
but they were just spot locked, and it was just they had at least one going. Usually they had two
Yeah.
going,
Yeah,
and it was just hand over fist as however many fish you wanted to catch.
yeah. No, I
And
know. I
they
know
were
both
throwing
of them really well.
shiners
Yeah.
in there, which would be really a great guide thing
Mhm.
for kids.
Mhm.
If you wanted to take your kids out there
Yeah, to
and
get
catch
them
some fish,
fishing. Yeah.
go and get 24 shiners at East County Bait and Tackle and take them over to that aerator and have at it,
Yeah.
because you're gonna catch them.
And that's what you have to do. You got to catch fish to keep kids
Oh
entertained.
yeah,
If you tell them you got to cast over here, farther, no to the left, no to, they're gonna be done. You know,
Right.
10 minutes.
Right.
So if you can put them on fish.
Mhm.
Most times it's regardless of what they are, big bluegills or bluegills, bass,
Yeah.
catfish. But the fish have to bite. Like the fish have to produce to keep
Mhm.
them entertained.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to catch a 10-pounder 2 days ago out of El Capitan, and that was in the morning. It was on a crankbait, so it is what it is, and it was a big fish.
But
10.71,
there have been
and it's right here.
Several big fish out of there this summer.
I'm not saying that I'm not something special.
No,
I'm just
but I'm
like-
just saying it's
there was-
actually like that lake
Brenner's
is
caught 2
producing.
9s.
Yeah, that lake has been producing since the spring. It hasn't really, slowed down.
There's
It's
a
just-
handful of fish.
Yeah. for
And in
sure.
fact, this 10 that I caught had a freaking hole in his mouth, in
really?
his bottom jaw. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm just taking my turn.
Well, okay, so
catching her.
do you think
She was pretty big though.
Do you think that hole is from a cull tag in a tournament?
So
or
no,
someone weighed it
no, I don't
and
think
actually
anybody
punctured
weighed it.
So what's the
Unless
hole
it
from?
was so I think it's just from somebody holding it.
Really?
Yeah, like punching their finger
That's
through.
unfortunate.
You know how they get a
Is
slice.
that a big slice? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's that, or somebody has a clip,
Yeah.
and then it's like a
Pull
safety pin,
Yeah.
and then they put it too far down, and then
So-
it tears as the fish head
I
shakes.
can't remember who caught a fish that size in a tournament lately, and it wasn't so.
Was it pretty fresh? Like, was it red, or like that tear? Was it red, or was it? Like,
No, I think it was brand new.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was.
Hmm.
So
Well,
I don't know.
fish is doing good enough to eat again.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't stressed.
Yeah.
It looked great.
yeah.
I saw the picture.
She's super fat, like up in here,
Thick. Yeah.
like here, and in the belly, but up all the way down. That was so
That's
Alex Gavin weighed it for me.
Okay.
He came over and jumped in and took a picture and weighed it for me, and we were commenting on it and whatever. And she had a great big, huge head, big mouth.
But for it to be thick up there, I mean, that's a fish that's been eating, is eating, doing
Mhm.
well, not
Mhm.
not just like, say, a fish with a giant belly that maybe thinned out the rest of the body.
Right.
I mean, fish thick all the way down is a sign
Yeah.
it's for sure in good health.
And then I had a couple people ask me if she fought at all, and I thought she fought pretty hard. Actually, I thought when I hooked it, it obviously it went out to deep water, and I thought catfish.
Catfishy, yeah.
But then it wasn't a catfish. I could tell it wasn't a catfish, but she didn't jump. So I thought, oh, it's a snagged 5-pounder. Like I'm bringing this thing in sideways or whatever, because I could
Mhm.
feel some kind of vibration or
Mhm.
something. And then she came up and like did this. I could see how big it was, but she had the crankbait like on the outside of her lip,
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was kind of
Yeah, the vibration might have been the crankbait
yeah,
swinging
yeah,
as it's
yeah,
doing
yeah.
head shakes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's. But then she did this whole thing, and I
Yeah.
lifted her and brought her in.
The fish are definitely the fish. I'd say when I was fishing El Cap, and I haven't been too recently, but they're feisty for the most part. You catch them, especially if you're
Mm-hmm.
catching them on reaction baits. They're spunky. They're eating stuff. They're usually like
Yeah.
game. Like I've had some that hit the bait and then just rock it out one side or the other, come up, jump 3-4 feet, and then like just
Yeah.
go berserk.
Yeah.
And then the smaller ones have been the ones that are like, oh, I'm stuck. I can't, they just drag in or
Right.
shake a little bit or what. But like the 3 to 6 pounders have
Yeah.
been very good fighting
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah. So in that same spot, I got that one. I've got a few days ago, I got a 5 and a 7, and then my partner went in there and he got a 6 and a 7, Jim. And yeah, it's a good little deal that we got going right now. But it's all in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So where do you think they go in the afternoon?
I think there's still. It's just funny because I
They
think
just don't
that
eat?
I wonder.
Yeah.
And I've fished for them deeper. Like, well, maybe they're just moving out.
Mhm.
I think that they're still in there. I just think they're not biting. When it shut off the other day, I only had it for an hour, and it shut off at 7:00, 7:15. It was a light switch.
Yeah.
It was. By that time I had 17 fish in the boat, and
Because what time they let you on the
I
lake?
didn't catch any more until they kind of, how they kind of acclimate, and then they start, something else starts up.
10 o'clock-ish.
Well, not even that late,
Sometimes, yeah.
but it was like for a good hour and a half. I only caught like one here, one there, and
Mhm.
then I started going down the bank and whatever, looking at other different spots. But yeah, it was like they were done.
I've had some spots where it's a waiting time, they're there, and it's just the conditions aren't right for them to want to feed.
I don't think they're going out
Yeah.
suspending. I think they're staying on the rock and
Yeah.
just going out deeper, or maybe they're just staying on the rock right there,
Resting, yeah, hunker down.
and they're not biting anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, there's several places I believe that like during the day, either the wind kicks up too hard, the bait obviously changes as the light, sunlight comes on or the wind comes
Right.
on. So the orientation of things different. So maybe that fish is like, oh, I'm not going to go out away from cover and chase you. I'll just wait until this afternoon.
Right.
And you guys start hunkering down or getting close to the cover, and then they're there. So I mean,
Yeah.
the bigger the fish is, usually the smarter it is. Obviously, it's made it longer
Yeah.
to survive and grow. But each lake is different depending on what they're feeding on, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have any club tournaments coming up? San Diego Bass
We
Masters?
do. We have
You guys have any
Otay
night,
on
night
the-
tournaments?
Otay on the 20th. No, we're done with those.
Oh,
Otay on the 20th.
hmm.
So that's fine. That's cool.
That's sad when we're talking fishing. Oh yeah, I'm not really. Oh yeah.
It's
Now
better
you're
than
looking forward to
today.
it.
Thank God we're not going
Yeah,
back.
all that.
And then we have top 6 a week after that, but I don't think I'm going to fish top 6 because I got to go to Mojave.
So you qualified, but you're.
Yeah. I got to go to Mojave and practice,
Well, Lake Mead's coming
For
up
the
too,
US
but-
Open.
Yeah.
but I'm not going to Mead. I don't have enough.
Mead's fun. Mead's different.
Okay, so I asked you a question the other day, and it was almost a surprise answer, and it was concerning Mead, Mojave, and which one you would rather do as a AAA. If you're going to AAA one of those lakes, why would you AAA one or the other instead of going as a pro and using your own boat?
Well, for a tournament situation, AAA. Both of them are on the Colorado River. Both of them get the same kind of wind and conditions.
Right.
The thing with Mead is there's a lot more shallow water cover, habitat, structure. You're gonna have a better shot, I would say, at catching fish out of the back
Mhm.
because you're just gonna be around so much more fishy habitat.
Mhm.
But the Mead is very big, very long. The wind, you have potential for wind, a couple different directions. And you get into the time thing with maybe you have a 50-mile run
Right.
or longer.
Yeah.
And then time management, and of course, weather plays a part. And even just operating your boat, like in the Narrows coming out of Colville, for people that don't know, from where you blast off, go out into your expanse, it becomes like people call it the washing machine, or just it's a horrible thing, and it's purely from boat wakes going back and forth, bouncing off the walls and stuff.
Right.
But safety reason, I would say, I mean, Mojave for natural conditions too is going to be dangerous because it's big. But I would rather be on the front of the boat. Well, either lake, but I would say I would enjoy probably Mead more, but I don't think I would want to fish on the back more. I don't want to fish on the back on Mead. I don't really want to fish on the back at Mojave. I'm not even. I haven't even fished tournaments on Mojave, but just how the lake sets up, it really reminds me of Havasu. Small pockets, small cuts, just big long, runs a lake, and then Mead is, does have very long arms and sections, but the coves or the cuts are a lot, further, basically longer, so there's more to them. It's more of a fertile ecosystem as far as like there's a lot of places for them to be, and then more opportunities for the fish, and you're not out there just maybe fishing on the edge of something, or you're in a cove and you cast 5 times and you're done, and then you guys are running somewhere else. But like Mead has a lot of big areas that have might suck up hours of your day, like to fish thoroughly.
Yeah.
And then it might all be empty, and then it might be like one portion of that where the fish are.
Right.
And you don't find it till the end, so maybe then you find them the next day or whatever. Safety wise, I mean, both lakes are big, and it really comes down to, like I said, running the boat, knowing how to run a boat, and then time management. Because if you're waiting until the last minute to make your moves, or you think you're going to be able to run it wide open around the lake, you can have a big shocker when the wind kicks up, and then you hit 3 and 4 footers, and then you have to go 30 miles, and you may have 10 miles of 3 or 4 footers, and then you may get calm stretch, and then who knows what's on the other side. So big lakes it's a whole different.
Regina and I stayed a little late at Mojave last time.
And isn't that, it's one of those things, sometimes when it kicks up, you kind of get a feeling almost sometimes.
Yeah, when
like we should get out of here.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, just 5 more minutes.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, and the wind could turn, it's weird, the wind could turn on like a light switch. And it's not like a slow breeze, like a soft breeze coming up to whatever miles an hour. Like it could just turn on, and all of a sudden it's blowing 20
you see
white
it coming.
caps.
See
and then you're just
across the lake,
and then you're like, holy crap. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
So it was bumpy. It was bumpy halfway through the basin, and I cut it towards the shore.
And this is Mojave.
This
is Mojave because you said you've never been on Mead.
Right. Yeah. So I cut it to where, the opposite shore of where the wind is going to.
Yeah, you want to be on the leading edge, if you will.
Right. The leading edge.
Yeah,
so I cut it into the leading edge, and that helped. But it was still coming from a direction that it was all shooting.
Oh, there's times where you're just stuck. And I've been on that Mead like a couple times. We've been into, and that's the problem. I don't fish Overton too much because I've been in Overton practicing, and my wife would go with me. She is essentially for the U.S. Opens and stuff. She was a practice partner. Yeah. And so we got to share time and all that, but she's on the boat with me, and so I'm always having someone that, you obviously care for anybody at passenger, but having your wife is one of those things. And her comfort level is not the same as a guy or a fisherman, hardcore dude. So she's been with me probably some of the worst conditions that you would operate your boat in. Yeah. And at times I'm just like, I can't get us off the water. There's sometimes where there's no shelter. Yeah. So it's like, I'm just going to, say, sorry, we're going to be safe about it, but we're going to be drenched or whatever, or, Yeah. And even if we're not drenched, like she could be scared. I'll say people are terrified about things. They're uneasy about big waves and little boats. Yeah. And it's one of those things like, we've been stuck in Overton once, I think 2 days in a row one time. The wind wasn't supposed to come up until whatever, so we were fishing. And then the wind kicks up, and then, like I said, it's like a light switch, and then so next thing you know, you're 20 miles back, and it's rolling in, and then, you know, if it's coming straight at you, you can't zigzag too much, otherwise you're not making any headway.
Yeah.
But I've literally it's been so bad at me before that all I could do for a while was just push a little throttle and then, you know, keep going forward, just to not lose ground.
Yeah.
And not to bury the boat in the water, like in
Right.
the nose, because
Right.
they're stacked up so high, there's no way you're gonna get on top of them.
Right.
You can't run them diagonal, it doesn't matter. And so we were just sitting there, I wasn't gonna go tuck into the cove and wait it out, because you don't know how many hours that's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is like, if it's blowing, it may not die down at sunset.
Uh-huh.
You know, so it's like, are you gonna be out there until dark and then it calms down and then come back in, you know?
Right.
So, but it's one of those things, you know, big water can be very trying and, you know, nerve-wracking for people, even
Yeah.
if you've been on it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with a lot, but knowing that I have a passenger, whether it's a friend or a co-angler, I am, because I've been the co-angler and I've been on the other side where I've been there where the guys operate the boat, and you just feel like these guys think they're invincible, and they're just, the boat's just teetering on stuff back and forth, and like they're just rolling with it, thinking that there's nothing that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it is totally untrue. All it takes is a split second for you to spear a wave, or you to hit one wrong, and then all of a sudden you get pitched off the side, or you're thrown in. I mean, I've been in events where a guy's broken his back in bad weather. You know, he might have been a fragile guy or a
Right.
guy, but
Yeah.
there's a young man that got thrown into the console, broke his arm at the Delta because, well, I'll say maybe reckless driving. The guy was coming around one of the corners of a connection or slough, and the guy hung the turn, and then they hit a little boat wake or something, and so they caught it, and then the kid literally got, you know, from his seat, and I call him a kid, he was like 19, thrown in the console he described, you know, and then literally like just smashed up, and he's sitting there, and he said he tried to shrug it off and fish, and it was just too painful.
Yeah.
The guy brought him in, he went to the hospital, got his arm set, and he was back for the weigh-in.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
And I was just, and so I talked to him a little bit, and he described it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm like, that's not your fault, and it was definitely avoidable, but.
Yeah.
So with people on your boat, you got to be careful, you know. But in time management, we talked about time. I told you the other day that at Mead, we were running. I was fishing. I'd say it was 40 plus miles away, and it's been greasy calm all day, and so I kind of had a feeling, and it wasn't kicking up at all. And so I'm like, I know I need this many minutes to get back. And
Right.
I'm never one of those guys that usually pushes it for a long run to get back. I always do like steps, you know, get to a spot, maybe fish a little bit more, check on your fish, pump some fresh water. And so you're not full speed all the way back. Well, I kind of like, okay, time to go. We're going to make it back. And then I kept fishing like an extra minute. And then 2 minutes, and I was like, and then all of a sudden, that 2 minutes, and all of a sudden the light switch hit me. It's like, oh, if I'm late, I'm gonna be pissed. And I
Yeah.
literally was sweating bullets, watching the clock and the GPS while I was driving back all the way to Mead,
Yeah.
or all the way to Colville.
Yeah.
And I literally made it with seconds to spare. And it was, we're talking
You were
US
in that
Open.
minute.
I was within it. It was one of those things. It was like, yeah, call it 3 o'clock. So I was 3 o'clock and 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was
wasn't
12
for the
seconds.
301.
No, and
Yeah.
the guy that was checking us in is not your tournament director. He's
Right.
a volunteer,
Yeah.
and it was one of those things. And so it was literally like, hey, and he's watching me come in, and and come right down in and sit down, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, and I'm looking at him, and it was just one of those things. And give him the boat number, and he's like, looking at me, and I'm like, hey, it's not 301, and he's like, I'll let you slide, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you know, but he let me in, but had it been 301 or had it been, you know, longer, what happens if we broke down? You know, I was like,
Oh yeah.
I would-
That's what you got to think about.
I was like, you know, to my co-angler, I wasn't saying anything to him. I was keeping it all inside, but I mean, you're still fishing for a second person too in that event,
Mhm.
shared weight.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, big responsibility there with your passenger, shared weight and whatever, and the safety of the passenger.
Yeah.
You hear about Lake Hodges?
No dam.
No dam at Lake Hodges.
So my question for that, and you don't know it necessarily, I'm just putting it out there.
I don't know.
Okay, so we said, they say it's unsafe,
Yeah.
so they had to lower the water.
Yeah.
Dam's in such poor shape.
Yeah.
So we have probably no chance of them, say, raising it up to the ramp
Right.
so that it's usable,
Yep.
just usable for boats. There's no way they're gonna extend the ramp, pour a new ramp, and then bring it up, say, 10 feet so that it's usable
Mm-hmm.
on a new ramp. I don't
know.
I think that's slim to none. The only place I know that has done extensions on ramps has been Diamond Valley. Diamond Valley's done 2 extensions on their ramps, and it's after drought.
I don't know. I haven't talked to Tom about that, and that could
Come up. That would
definitely
be awesome.
an option.
That would be awesome.
That could definitely be an option.
Pour some concrete. Why don't they do this at Colby?
Because they just
Lake
slide.
Mead.
They just slide.
They could do a couple
the,
different ways.
The
sections
pads in there, right? They don't like pour it or whatever.
Well, yeah, you can do it different
slide
way.
a pad
Like at
in
Havasu, the new marina at Havasu, they
Yeah.
poured the concrete ramps
Site 6.
in section, not even Site 6, the new casino.
Yeah.
Or I mean the new
Riviera.
marina, Riviera.
Yeah.
They poured them up on the bank, they formed them
Right.
and stuff, so they knocked the wood down or
Right.
whatever, and then they used a giant loader or bulldozer, whichever way you want to call it, and they literally pushed them down on the ramp where
Yeah.
it was already graded,
Yeah.
and then it's in place.
Right.
I mean, not to knock Colville and the national park, but at Lake Mead, hello, it's you don't have to be a genius to do something like that. They put metal grading, they do different things.
Uh-huh.
And it's one of those things that the lake goes down so far and then it comes back up with snow melt or water coming in. Just make some concrete, do the same thing, make
Yeah.
some sections, push
Yeah.
it out there,
Yeah.
and it won't be so bad.
Right.
It's a national park too, it should be open for people.
It should be. So anyway, that's Lake Hodges.
Hodges would be another great lake to have if we can get it back.
Well. Yeah.
I mean, the
it was a
shoreline
lot of-
guys,
there
the
was a-
float tubers have it, but,
There's a
Well,
lot,
like-
a lot of guys that love that lake.
and admittedly, I don't go there very much because it takes me 45 minutes to get there, you know. I'll fish El Cap because it's 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
same thing. I mean, Hodges is okay for sure, but Hodges is sometimes like a window too, like morning, afternoon, you know, something specific.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things. Like, I wouldn't mind if it came back because I would like to mix it up and go there here and there.
So Jim Brown brought up this fact of, okay, so I guess you can, there's places in Hodges Dam that you can see light through,
Really?
because those dams, they're only this thick, because they're on an arch.
Mm-hmm.
They're arch.
Mhm.
Murray, Sutherland, Hodges
Mhm.
are the same way. Oh, and that's it, I think. Anyway, so they have a series of arches, so they're not very thick. And speaking of which, I mean, Murray's, I guess, about in the worst. It's really bad.
All these
But they're not
lakes
talking
are
about Murray.
overdue. Let's
They all
say
are.
that. They're all overdue.
So anyway, there's places where you can see
Yeah.
light through Hodges, and they've got that water lowered down there, and they're going to keep it lowered down. I don't know how fast they can let water out of Hodges, but Jim Brown brought up the fact that been
heavy rain.
three times in the last 40 years, it has filled up overnight
Mm-hmm.
because it's got the largest watershed in San
Mhm.
Diego. And if it fills up overnight, I mean, you're looking at maybe a catastrophic.
That would be interesting for sure. Yeah. And
Something something bad could happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
what are they gonna? What are they doing?
Well, it's one of those things now. Is
I know you don't.
The state and the city are liable now. They know the condition.
Ah,
so
there's houses down there.
That's negligence. Yeah. So they better fix it one way or the other.
The Friends of Lake Hodges, they're all on it. You know, they're pushing for it. They raise a bunch of money. They got a bunch of money behind them. And
Just specifically for Lake Hodges.
Yeah, Friends of Lake Hodges.
Wow.
A lot of birders.
The funny thing about Hodges is they don't like fishermen too much because
No.
they like their peace in their house
Yeah.
and the view.
Yeah.
I remember we fished a couple night tournaments, and all the years I've done night tournaments, There's only been a couple at Hodges because
Yeah.
I think the homeowners complain about they don't want your boats after dark start
Yeah.
their engine
Yeah.
and drive around. Not that you're
And that's-
racing around at full speed,
Yeah, that's interesting.
but it's like, so like we give them more authority, I guess. It makes no sense.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, but they've got their own thing going on up there. I haven't met them. I know Tom has met them a few times. They're proactive. They're trying. They had it. There was at one point they had the dam, the beginning of the workings of the dam, sped up by 3 years. You know, because of the nesting and what was going on back in the back. They wanted it. They had to fill it up because the longer that they take,
The more
the
birds are gonna
the
be
more
back there.
birds are going to be back there and use it as a residence. So they need to get this done so that doesn't happen. Is what
This was in the
argument-
past,
Yeah, this was before they decided not to do it at all.
but still recently. Because I noticed when it was low and they started
This was like 2
beforehand.
years ago.
Yeah, years ago when it first drained down and there was like it sat long time. I think it was when they were doing the freeway extension.
Mhm.
They were widening the freeway and
Yeah.
so that's when they had the water separated. They were
Yeah, they put
pumping
the-
it all out.
Yeah,
They put pillars in.
yeah.
Well, that's when the birders first started and the eco people started like
Is
those
that right?
those trees on the eastern side
Uh-huh.
became nesting grounds for these birds. And so then they're like, well, we can't raise the lake or we can't do something. Maybe they put a barrier up. But it's like, if you put a barrier up and stop the water from coming in on the west side, what about the water drainage coming off
Yeah.
the hills on the east?
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's going to flood anyways,
Yeah.
and then it can't go anywhere, and
Yeah.
then it's going to be trapped, and then, eventually gets
Yeah.
to what, the freeway level or street level. But there's
So-
always going to be life and ecosystems around lakes.
Yeah, so that's going to be that's a Lake Hodges it's a thing, and I have to get Tom on here to talk about it because it's part of our life here.
And Lake Hodges, correct me if I'm wrong, but Lake Hodges, the water is supposedly for farmers or growers, not city water.
I didn't know that.
To my knowledge, and I've heard this in the past from several people, they say it's for the citrus groves
Yeah.
and the
Okay.
the growers down there. So if it's not drinking water, they could, their demand for it, I guess, is probably a lot lower, leaner than it is
Yeah.
for city water.
Yeah.
So they can handle the lake at lower level if they just pull water
So-
from a Liebenheim.
So what are they going to do with the Liebenheim now? Because that was designed, right, for power generation. They're
Mhm.
going to pump it up to the Liebenheim
Mhm.
and then run it back down the hill and make electricity.
Yeah, that
Power,
failed now
and
because
that's-
of coaga mussels.
You
and
can't even do
Liebenheim.
that.
So
Well, the
there
water's
was-
so low that they can't do that.
Well, there was a fisheries biologist, a fish and wildlife biologist that was at Hodges one day, and I was talking. This was years ago, and I was talking, or maybe it was another link, and we talked about Hodges, and she said that they actually have a way now to treat water from a Liebenheim, to treat it to kill the coagas.
Mhm.
So, and I said, so chemically, and she's like, yeah. So they chemically treat it, and then they remove the chemical via carbon or whatever, and then they lower it to Hodges, so that Hodges never gets coagas because they don't want to spread coagas. Okay,
Wow.
so that means it's a controlled batch of water. That's
Yeah.
like you making tea or whatever. You make a pitcher, you do your stuff, you drink it, whatever. So they'll flush it down, and then I don't know how long it takes them to fill. She didn't mention how many gallons it is. She didn't mention where it is, so it might just be like one water tank on the hillside.
Uh-huh.
We didn't even get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, their plan of their whole power generation back and forth, as soon as Liebenheim had coaga mussels in it, it was done, shot. So, yeah.
Oh.
You can't pump water, you can't cycle the water like that because the Liebenheim water is going to bring coaga down to Hodges. Hodges then would become clear, which
Yeah.
would be good temporarily for the lake, for people to see it.
Temporarily. Yeah.
But yeah, then and the whole problem with the coagas is obviously the pipes and everything require more maintenance. The equipment
Uh-huh.
requires more maintenance
Yeah.
because of coaga.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's their failed. And they used aqueduct water to fill it up. The smart thing
It's
would have
like
been to
what?
fill it up with Hodges water. and then not connect it to the freaking aqueduct, and then just transfer water from. But see, what else connects the Hodges? Is Wolford, Dixon?
I don't know. I don't think any of them do.
That's
somebody
the
was saying
right
that San Vicenti's connected to it, but that's got to be like that ain't right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hodges ain't connected to nothing.
Yeah,
Hodges is his own deal.
that's probably why. I mean, it's a very fertile lake because of all that runoff. That's why it goes green.
Oh yeah.
But green is food for bait.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's why
it's a lot of storm runoff.
El Cap is the way it is. I think. Well, part of it.
Sutherland, yeah.
Sutherland.
If Marina was lower in the hills, Marina would be really good too. Wolford's, Marina, Sutherland. Sutherland's pretty good, but it's still up there. It's a small lake, but it's the same thing. It gets a lot of runoff. It's old pasture land and stuff. There's a lot of nutrients that comes in, just like El Cap, back into El Cap.
Yep.
We need to protect our lakes, though, that's for sure.
Well,
we said this last time, for the economy around here and all the businesses that support it and need it, that's one of the things. To me, it's a no-brainer. They should be, part of the fees collected should be set aside for maintenance and repairs. For dam, for docks, for roads, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But I understand the city wants the federal government to pay for it, or the state wants the federal government.
They've got their money for themselves. So anyway, enough about that. So we got new tanks, new shiner tanks at East County being tapped.
How are they doing?
And you were a part of that.
Yeah, well.
Mike plumbed them. They're big.
They're giant. I don't know.
They're big tanks.
I'm hoping that you guys will get that much bait and use the bait. So people will buy the bait. So
that's what, so far, it's been living good in the tanks.
That's good.
I mean, granted, it depends on how it, in the condition it comes from Alpine, wherever that we get it from.
Yeah, I mean, essentially your shiners are...
Some shiners are good, some batches are not so good.
You can almost equate them to like a trout stock too. Or like a fish hatchery that's bringing like catfish.
Yeah.
Or bringing trout, or bringing whatever they're stocking to a lake. The longer it's in the holding, the worse conditions in transit, it's all going to lead up to, it's just like fish care in the tournament. How did you care for your fish in the live well all day? All those kind of things lead up to or affect how your fish are going to do at the end.
Right.
So like your system.
But so far, the shiners that we've been getting have been great.
Yeah.
They've been living really good.
Yeah.
They have a lot of space to swim in. It's good plumbing now.
Well, yeah, the tanks, the big tank, you have a big volume, which is good because volume, basically dilutes things. So, you have a larger capacity, so you have a longer period of time before you have problems. But the shiners, that's the one thing I was thinking about when I was coming over here. If guys are out there fishing bait, it's a good thing for the lake because it's actually bringing in food.
Sure.
Minimal amounts.
Yeah.
But we're talking I don't know how many. You guys sell thousands of shiners a week.
Oh
ideally.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, thousands of shiners a week.
What? I was thinking. Okay, so we might.
You're helping keep fish
20
alive.
What's 20 dozen? So 20 dozen in the morning.
20 dozen in the morning is pretty good. No.
Whatever that is.
120, 140. Yeah. That's not bad in the morning, one day.
Yeah.
And then say the lake's open 4 days a week. You do that. If you could do that 4 days a week, plus throughout the rest of the day, you get stragglers, and afternoon you get some people coming in the day before.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the thing. And my buddy mentioned this, going back to fishing, talking about shiner fishing in El Cap. Well, one of those guys I know is my friend that he used to fish Vail Lake. He'd fish Vail Lake, and Vail Lake, for those that don't know, the people that it was really good for lots of techniques. You catch good quality fish and reaction on plastics. You don't need live bait. Well, he would fish it with crawdads, or he would fish it with shad.
Yeah.
He would fish it with goldfish, whatever, And then his argument, well, at least if I'm catching them on live bait and that fish doesn't get the meal, then he throws it, and then some other fish down there is getting the crawdad or getting or whatever. So if you're bait fishing and you're leaving the bait in the lake, someone's eating it.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily say who or what, but
Right.
it's bringing food in. And I mean, that's better than eating plastics all day. You know, catching fish on plastics. Fisher now, oh, I can't eat that for a couple days because it just bit me. You know, it got me
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
That, and I want to do a lake cleanup. How about
Well,
anybody want to? Can we Friends of Lakes? Can we get a lake cleanup? Not necessarily for trash, but also for trash. But like maybe some habitat.
so what do you mean habitat? Like putting habitat in the lake?
Well, like
Because they're not going
right,
to let you do that.
right now at Otay
They won't.
Lake is low.
They will not let you do that.
The tules are high and dry.
Yeah.
Well, best time to get rid of tules is when they're out of water.
Yeah.
Primrose, all that vegetation, that big green, bright, gnarly looking stuff that is
Yeah.
now like a
Mm-hmm.
dam.
Yeah.
You know, if you let that keep growing, it's just going to keep choking the lake out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously it's not going to blanket across the lake as much, you know, as you would think, but it will fill up coves just like
Mhm.
bush low and stuff like that.
Like it is doing.
Yeah, it was in
Yeah.
the back, very thick and Harvey.
Yeah.
And then it flooded, and it flooded at a time where it was winter, so that primrose was not thriving and healthy. It was winter time, so it was more roots than anything, and just some sparse leaves. And then when it flooded, it kind of rotted it, and so it really didn't rebound.
Yeah.
But then now it's dry, so I mean that might take care of the back of Harvey for a little while. But
Mhm.
tules, once they're dead, once you put them back in the water, they become they're rotting, they're decomposing.
Mhm.
That's just going to be worse for the city if you want to think of it that way.
Oh yeah.
That is now water quality.
Yeah.
That's more organic matter that they have to take out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So or more live plants have to compensate for it. I mean that's why
Uh-huh.
they leave all that stuff around the lake.
Yeah.
So, but for fishermen, they won't let us plant stuff. If they would, like Diamond Valley when they did it, they planted citrus like lumber, trees and
Yeah,
stuff.
but that was
made habitat
When
for
they
that lake.
when they first made the lake. They had,
But it was in the water for however long.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, if we can get
But-
approval,
They won't. I talked to, who was it? It was somebody. I want to say it was a lake aide, one of the people at El Cap or whatever, and they were just like, there is nothing going in this lake. It is totally illegal to do anything because it's going to affect the water quality. It was the guy who put the water pump, the aeration in.
so if that's the
It was
case,
Helix, the guy from Helix.
then, well, that's the problem. He's a drinking water. He's a water
Yeah,
authority person.
yeah.
He's not a biologist
No.
as far as a nature or natural guy.
All he cares
So
about
he
is
cares
the,
about how can I have the cleanest water possible.
yeah, with that cheap,
Guarantee you that is
cheapest
why they
possible.
put the aerator in. It was not to save fish's lives.
No, that's,
It was to
no,
prevent.
He told me that.
Yeah, it was to prevent water from being so.
It has nothing to do
off.
with fish.
Yeah.
It has something to do with breaking the stratification
Yep.
and increasing the quality of the water in the summer months.
Yeah.
So next summer, they will have a longer period of time to draw that water down instead of, they had to shut it off
Before the
in
thermocline,
July,
yeah.
and they're not going to be able to draw water out of it until like next month.
Yeah.
So next year they'll be able to draw water out of it in August, and then start it up again earlier because they broke that stratification and it makes the water better. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So his thing about you can't put anything in the lake. So what happens when the lake is down? Like it, I mean, this is.
I know. Yeah. Right.
This is
I
the
know.
dome. We're not. I'm not really asking because but this is the obvious. So the lake is down, 20 feet, 30 feet, whatever.
Yeah.
All the brush starts growing,
Yep.
and these little like willow trees,
Yep.
all that stuff, right? So then the lake comes up. Oh my God! Now all of a sudden we have 1,000 trees in the water. It's
Yeah.
so polluted. Oh my God! That would be
It
the
all
guy's
starts
logic.
dying.
Oh, that would be. Well, they don't. They don't right away.
Right.
Like the little viney, whippy stuff does, but the willows actually bloom, and the tree
Oh yeah,
lives.
yeah, in the back, and yeah, right.
But according to him, that would be horrible. That would be
Yep.
detrimental, catastrophic. Well, obviously, it's a bunch of bullshit. But
Yeah.
but it's his agenda or his narrative that he wants to maintain.
Right.
We're talking about the
Yeah. It's
the
his
health
narrative.
of the lake and the fish
Mhm.
in it. And I'm not talking about doing anything that's gonna hurt the water quality. It's just gonna improve for the fishermen and the ecosystem, which you could say.
I mean, how do they get the approval of the fish habitats in Havasu?
That's
I mean,
different.
are they using approved materials?
Well, now they are. I think
not-
that's why they switched from, they were doing a lot of plastics in
Yeah.
the beginning, and metal
Right,
cage and
yeah.
stuff.
And
And so now they've gone to more brush,
It's all
palms, and things like that. Yeah, because that's the big argument. People are like, well, look at all this plastic
Yeah.
put in here. And a while ago it was the
it was a good idea at the time.
Yeah, the BPE and all the chemicals and the plastic that people are worried about leaching out. And so yeah, I'm
Microplastics.
just cut up some wood cover from around the lake, you know,
Well,
bundle it.
that's really the way to do it. Is just go up on the shore. Bring it down.
Guilty, yeah, a little bit, but yeah.
That's
I mean, that's
another
essentially if
topic.
the lake goes up, it
another
would have been
conversation.
flooded, but it's natural.
Right.
Bulldoze some rock pile. Loose rock.
Yeah.
It's rock toxic
Just
now
move
too.
it.
Yeah.
Move it a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
Mayor?
what's up for you? Oh, you were gonna say something.
No, go ahead.
I was say, so what do you see happening in the lakes in the next couple months for fishing?
Well, we're gonna lose El Cap.
Going into September.
I don't know how much longer. They had that buoy out there on the end of the launch ramp,
Mhm.
and I've been saying this. Oh, we're gonna lose El Cap. I was a harbinger of bad news in the initial go round,
Mhm.
and I was wrong. They stopped pulling water out of El Cap, and that proved me wrong.
But that
we're
was
still
because
fishing.
of water quality, right?
And then they stopped it because of water quality.
Mhm.
Yes,
That's the key. Otherwise,
Yes.
they would have.
they would have kept drawing it down.
And I drove by,
And we
we
would have
drove by
lost it.
Sweetwater on the way back from Otay, and I noticed Sweetwater is actually down.
Is it?
Sweetwater was brimming full for the longest time.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, I didn't really get a great observation, but I would say it's probably 10 feet or more.
So
Yeah.
we've only got about 3 feet of ramp behind your trailer
Or,
to where
Vertical
your
feet
boat.
or
Well, no,
distance?
I'm thinking behind
Distance.
your wheel, about 3 feet,
Linear feet of ramp. Okay.
4 feet.
I better get out there then.
Your boat still floats off, so we have another 4 feet
Yeah.
of, not this way, but this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a foot and a half, maybe of total up and down
Vertical
Yeah,
foot, probably
yeah.
in the lake. It's probably foot and a half.
to still float the boats off. You better get out there.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you better get out there.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go fishing at El Cap, I don't know how much longer it's gonna last.
Yeah.
It's not raining. Hopefully it rains this winter and it'll come back up and everything will be good.
Hopefully it rains and
But-
they have no
but-
place to put the water other than leave it in the lake.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
so there, I still think that there's a good chance that we're gonna lose the launch ramp. It's not coming down very fast, it's just evaporation at this point. And so it is coming down, but, do we have 2 weeks? Do we have a month? Maybe we have a month. And if we have a month, maybe it'll start raining.
Now, who says that's the end of the ramp? Is that the end of the
So
four-lane
that's,
ramp?
as far as I know, a diver went down and said that's the end of the ramp, and then they stuck a freaking marker in it.
Because Mike Folkstad, one of the
Yeah,
old timers that used to fish down here a lot.
Yeah.
He's been around. He said he's fished El Cap
yeah.
when Tree Hole was the back of the lake.
Because the ramp extends to single lane,
Single or double?
right? Double
Yeah.
lane.
Yeah, I think it's 2 lanes.
Yeah.
And so I think what they did was when it was lower, I think that extra section that we see now, like you see the 2 lanes is like original ramp, and then
Mhm.
that other chute, the asphalt and stuff was poured later, so
Yeah.
that's why it looks different.
Yeah.
And so I think we lose the 4 lanes and it goes down to the 2.
Yeah.
So that would be great if it's at 2 and we have 2 lanes to fish,
It'll still work.
then
That's
we just
fine.
have to see the condition. But yeah, I mean, that would hopefully that ramp is still there and hasn't degraded enough to where
Tree hole.
Can you
Was the
imagine?
back of the lake?
That's what he said. Tree hole.
Wow.
For those that don't know, that's how much water is off the side of Tree hole right now. What's the channel? 25?
At least.
Yeah.
It's still,
So can you imagine
At least
like
20.
25 more feet down?
yeah, wow.
That would be insane.
That's way out there.
That
Holy
yeah.
Wow, that is way out.
That now you're talking about like a walk back up to the parking lot like Diamond Valley here. It's worse than San Vicente.
Yeah, worse than San Vicente.
And
Because I
Diamond
still
Valley-
think San Vicente's almost twice of what El Cap is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's another third anyway.
Diamond Valley was made. This is a big problem. This is what they continue to lie to you about. Diamond Valley, when Diamond Valley was made, it was supposed to be water storage for Southern California.
Mm.
It was supposed to be able to supply Southern California with water, like meaning Riverside, San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
for a couple years in case of drought or whatever. Then they go ahead and build the lake. They've been flooding. Then they build everything around it, Hammett, all this. Everything is exploded. So just like typical people, we have some water here, but we don't worry about how it gets there.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just say, let's just keep building and building and building and building. So now
Yeah.
they don't even consider that water going below Riverside,
I bet.
below
Sure.
Temecula.
Uh-huh.
And they don't have enough to supply that area for years if there was a drought.
Yeah.
So, we can't even say buy water from Diamond Valley. Because Diamond Valley, unless it's raining or,
Uh-huh.
Northern California they don't want to buy it, they don't want to pump it down because it's too expensive. So the best time to get water, obviously, is when it's abundant, it's flooding there. Maybe
Right.
they have to automatically up north, they have to let water out because their reservoirs are going to fill up too much. So then they're going to say, okay, sure, we'll sell it to you cheap because it's better than just flushing it. So that would be the time that Southern California could re-up on their water
Uh-huh.
or get right, but it's not going to happen. But Diamond Valley was one of those lakes that was built with this whole master plan thing, largest reservoir in Southern California
Mm-hmm.
to store the water for
Mhm.
Southern California. And now, of course, it's not because they just kept developing and developing.
Right.
We need more lakes.
Yeah.
More lakes.
We need more lakes. So where was this underhanded thought of it's better to go to toilet to tap and invest billions of dollars into toilet to tap, reclaim the water, than it is to refurbish the dams?
It's
Because the water's got to come from somewhere.
correct. You can only filter and
San V
clean
is only
so much
gonna-
water.
San V is only so big. It's not big enough.
No.
So
San Diego County, with the amount of, if all of our lakes were full, maybe, right? Maybe you could say, but we don't have a way, they don't have a way, once you pull water from Marina,
yeah.
you have no way to refill Marina unless it's act of God.
Yeah.
Rain.
Same as Sutherland.
So we can't pump and shuffle water up mountains and uphill. So we have to be very wise about the water that we use and when we take it,
Uh-huh.
or they should. I act like we're in control of it.
Right.
But so yeah,
Right.
it's not a good game. The way they have it mapped out, I think delusional would be a good word. The way they think they can do it is all based on hypotheticals and things like that. But it's absolutely smarter to invest in call it infrastructure of the dam, and then make your dam great. Rebuild it, whatever, retrofit it, whatever you need to do to make it right,
Right.
depending on the dam.
Right.
Once it's so old, you're not going to put good on top of bad, so you probably have to tear it down and start and rebuild it. So once you do that, then you're confident, and you could say, well, it's not going to fall apart when we fill it up 50 more feet or max it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be always wise to make sure that you're holding your vessel or your reservoir is in good shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then worry about the whole, how are we going to get water back to it?
Whose idea was it to come up with this reclaim? Did they have extra money to spend, or they just have to
I'm
spend
sure
a
it's
bunch
an
of money?
agenda. Well, back in the day when I was younger, it was desalination plants. They were talking
Yes,
desalination
Carlsbad
plants.
and whatever.
Carlsbad,
Like-
Point Loma had some, but now the technology now is too expensive,
Yeah.
and it also puts too much byproduct, I guess you could say, too much salt.
Back into the water.
Well,
Back
not into the
ocean.
water, but you're going to pile it up somewhere, and then what are you
Yeah.
going to use it for? So, and it's also one of the, it's one of the things, you're not going to say like drain the ocean, but you're relying on a lot of, again, filtering and pumping and, you know, sending water where it needs to go, but that's all at a great expense, because same thing, if you could filter it and say we could only put it into Otay, is there any way to pump water Otay and go east or go north?
No.
So they
No,
need
it
to
can't go
build
the
those.
other way.
They need to build those facilities around each lake as close as possible.
Oh, right.
So for reclaimed or for desal, you know, obviously desal doesn't work from the ocean. We're not going to pump it into Marina. We're not going to pump it into El Cap and Lakeside. They're not going to pipe water all the way east. So at best, they're going to do it, and then they're going to have holding tanks close to the coast.
Yeah, yeah.
So we still
Right.
need, if they're going to do toilet to tap, they're going to have to do it on every single lake. And then it's one of the things, how much can they store, treat, and move back in a period of time?
Uh-huh.
I think our storm runoff, the storm drains and that whole thing, they should start, you know, now it's probably impossible because of the way it's been developed, but the storm drains, we flush, you know, like all the water drains off when it rains, it continues to go down into the bays and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That water, to start capturing that would be a great thing.
Yeah,
Would have been a great thing decades ago too.
yeah.
But same thing, now every area's been developed so much, you're gonna have a hard time building a plant or building a reservoir near a canal that's adjacent or whatever, you know, storm drain.
Mm.
But you see when it rains, it's like whitewater rivers flushing down, and then
Yeah.
it goes in the bay, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden the bay needs to be closed because of pollution
Right.
and runoff. But natural rain, I mean, we've developed so much where it can't soak in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Water doesn't soak into concrete and asphalt and stuff like that. I mean, we've diverted water so it doesn't flood your buildings, flood your neighborhoods, but we need to capture it.
Yeah.
So more reservoirs, and we don't need a river to dam up. We just need to put it in a canyon or
Mhm.
a bowl or, you know, ravines where it's a natural collection.
So, change the subject again. That's enough of that.
Too much politics.
It is.
Yeah.
It's too much politics.
Because they don't want our opinion, they don't want our advice, because all these people are getting their big salaries and they have their agendas for sure.
Give me a. Do you use? I'm going to talk about boat maintenance.
Okay.
You use dielectric grease to put your connections into your electronics. Put a little grease on there, because this is kind of a one way or another. People like it, and then there's a lot of people that don't like it.
You're talking about your connections on the back of your giraffes?
Yeah.
No, I have not. But I also now, like for me, I used to take my giraffes off when I trailered, drive home.
Oh, okay,
So I'd
okay.
be connecting them and then connecting them all the time.
Yeah.
And so they have a gap, you know, most brands, pretty much all brand, has an O-ring that comes
Uh-huh.
on each plug,
Yeah.
so that when you fit it in there, it's turned. If you are not going to remove it, I would say the O-ring should last a while. If you wanted extra protection, the dielectric grease would be great.
Yeah.
But it comes down to getting messy again, or you having to apply it every so often. But
Mhm.
I think it would be good.
Well,
Do you think, are you having problems, or do you think it's a deal? Why you ask?
no, because it came up on my social media today, and somebody's like, "Oh, okay, a little bit of dielectric grease here, and and you put it in."
I would see that
And
anywhere
I was
where it's
like,
going
you know
underwater
what?
on a boat.
Some people don't like
Trailer.
that. Some people don't like it. Does it make would it make your O-rings swell? Because you know it's petroleum,
Yeah.
so O-rings
Yeah.
will swell.
So here's the one thing I've noticed. The times or in your instructions,
Probably
if
not
they
that
mention it,
Yeah. Okay.
then I would say use it, because then you could assume that their product, like their O-ring, is not going to degrade or fall apart.
Mm.
But if they're not telling you to do it, like this is the manufacturer, if they're
Yeah.
not saying
Yeah.
when you're installing add this, then
Yeah.
I wouldn't go above.
Yeah.
But I would also make sure that your connections are always good. The graph connections on most of them, they twist and more or
Yeah.
less lock into
Yeah.
place. They're good for a long time. I noticed the big problem I think people, and when I was at the boat shop, I was always telling people, be very careful lining them back up and placing them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you have the habit of, like, say you put it on, you turn it to feel it in the right spot, and it turns and then goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have all these little tiny pins, all these little wires that are just sticking out, and you push them together, and then you start rotating, you have a chance of bending them, snapping them off.
Yeah.
So if anything, put a line on it, mark them, and then tighten them up and snug them up. But I wouldn't use dielectric unless it's in your trailer, where it's going in the water.
Yeah.
Like your trailer plug.
Yeah.
Anywhere we have a plug.
Yeah.
Shrinked, definitely heat shrink crimps are good rather than just butt connectors.
Yeah.
Electrical tape was not, great, so don't use electrical. Heat shrink butt connectors are much better,
Well, yeah.
for sure. It's extra a little bit of sense, but it's
Right.
one of those things. But dielectric grease, I haven't really, that's new to me as far as, I haven't had that come across my feed to see it, but half the people you talk to don't even know what it is.
Right. Yeah. So I got this thing for my boat, and this is what happened to me.
You brought it up.
I bought an inverter, 12 volt to 36 inverter,
Trying to charge on.
trying to charge on the run. Well, you don't like that? I don't know how it's going to work. I just had to do something because
So you're
my
drawing-
50 amp batteries are not big enough.
Oh, you have lithium.
Yeah. This charger
Mhm.
is like, it was like a couple $100.
Mhm.
Instead of going out and spending
Power pole.
$700 or $1,500 on 3 new batteries,
Yeah.
$300, I went and bought a $200 inverter
Mhm.
that runs from the 12 volt battery
Mhm.
into this inverter that goes to the 36 volt system,
Mhm.
and it's 10 amps. It says it's 10 amps,
Okay, but
which is not,
So
it's
well,
not
that's-
much at all.
Yeah, so your wattage and your current flow is going to be determined really by your wire gauge.
Yeah, it's 8. It's 8.
So
Well, it's 8 coming from the 12,
yeah,
and then it's smaller on the other side.
so that's like we have, say you have a 4-bank charger,
Mm-hmm.
like the Minn Kota or any of these companies,
Mm-hmm.
4-bank by 15 amps.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the wire coming back out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a positive terminal, a negative terminal, and it goes on there, and it's probably like 18 gauge wire or something.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Small.
how is this charging when we're talking about our fish finders, and guys are wanting to use 6 gauge, 8
Yeah.
gauge wire
Yeah.
just to run a fish finder,
Right.
which is less wattage than your charger pretty much coming back to it to try
Yeah.
and bring your batteries back up. But the less equipment I think you can have on the back, the better for sure. Storage,
Yeah.
connection, all that kind of stuff. I know there's people that have 5 batteries because they have a little lithium to wake up their big whatever. They
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
basically, or they have a small lithium to run your forward facing,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other lithium runs their main
Mhm.
electronics or their
Yeah.
main boat functions, and then 3 for the troll motor.
Okay, so mine's really basic. I have 36 volt system,
Yep.
totally separate from a 125 amp lithium battery for everything. I run 2 12s on it, my pump, it's a starting battery. I've run new wiring, dedicated wire to my graphs off of that battery. They don't go through anything. They're just
You have a breaker,
Right.
like inline circuit breaker.
So I went to take that battery. I went to take it apart, and I snapped off one of the posts on the lithium battery.
Mm.
It was kind of corroded, and the nut was stuck.
Mhm.
Obviously, it was corroded on there, and I
No
came around
dielectric.
and I freaking no dielectric
No
grease
light-
on
yeah.
that.
No.
Speaking
That
of,
might-
maybe
yeah, I was gonna say
maybe I
that-
should have done that. You
Well,
know?
that and the cleaner the connections, if you get corrosion,
So they haven't been off of there in over a year.
that could be a problem with obviously charging
And
back.
I
stuff.
snapped that thing off flush.
That's no good.
I was not in a good mood because I was going to go and catch another 10 pounder today, and I couldn't because I didn't have a starting battery. So I came in and bought another one, and I'm waiting for it to get here. And I'm dealing with the warranty issues with Ionic, and I guess they're probably going to want me to send it back. I don't even know if it's going to be under warranty, if that snapping a post off is going to be under warranty.
Or they might say because it's corroded, whatever. Depends on the company.
It's corroded, but you could see that it's corroded like into the battery. Like it's the plastic is starting to expand around the base a little bit. I don't know. Whatever. They're going to look at the pictures and tell me.
Are you using the charger? Is it their charger?
No, it's a no-co.
I mean, they might warranty it and say it's failure or a problem.
I hope they do.
battery
They
or
don't have a
something like
spare.
that. I'm not even lithium. I've got a heavy boat.
I love it. I love them.
Well, they work great or whatever. It's
They do.
great. The investment for sure could be good if it actually is. You get your life out of them for
Yeah.
sure. But to say that my boat's gonna do better because it's lighter, I don't see that.
Oh,
But,
no,
like,
no.
I haven't had a problem.
Not at all.
The only time I've had a problem running out of power was if I fished Jennings. And Jennings is so small, like you almost don't need to idle it, and then sometimes you just don't want to. So it was like, I've run out of cranking power there, and that was only because I had a fish finders going, never started the engine, so you didn't alternate,
Yeah.
But like come 5 o'clock, 5 whatever it was to put the boat on the trailer, and it didn't want to crank. But it's like, other than that, if you're fishing normal day, I'm not gonna run out of power, or I haven't yet. Since I've gone to a 31, I have 31 AGM in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I run two.
That's what I did.
12s.
I had 4 of those things.
Yeah, I have 4. I have 3 on
Yeah.
the trolling motor, and I have 1 on my
Yeah.
main
I
engine.
still run those 31s out on my trolling motor.
Really?
Yeah. And I ran dedicated wire. I ran new wire up to the bow. I soldered all the connections. I took
How
the
is
plug
that
out.
possible? It's
It's at Havasu and Mojave. And there, I have a tendency to be on 10 and freaking go.
Yeah.
And look.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
look in the water.
Yeah.
I want to cover water.
Have you? And this is not necessarily. This is just a question. Have you ever idled, put the boat in gear, and then just use your trolling motor to steer?
No. I've
Is that allowed?
idled around looking.
Yeah, but
Because I'm
driving
tired
the
of-
boat and looking like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
I actually stand up
I
and
mean
look.
physically, like start the engine, put it in gear, so you're going
No, I've never done
whatever
that.
miles an hour, and then you have your trolling motor
Yeah.
deployed, and then you're on the bow, and then you just use the trolling motor to steer. If you're not fishing, if you're fishing,
So-
obviously you're not going to do it with the engine going.
So I broke my trolling motor doing that one time. But I think it was because it was just worn out. The belt inside the Ghost,
Okay.
steering belt
Okay.
from the motor.
Yeah, it is.
To the-
It's one of those things. If you
It's-
have it on, like, it's
Because
more torque on it. for
I
sure.
would idle to spot without pulling my trolling motor up.
Mhm.
Well, eventually I heard this, "Rrr," and then the next time, like,
Mhm.
it broke. The belt
Mhm.
broke, and I had to fix it. It was an $8 part. It really wasn't that big a deal, but
Inconvenience. Of
yeah, I was done fishing that for the day, and until the part got here.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
guess
on
you're not
10.
really, you're just kind of.
No, you're not going to make big turns because then your boat's going to go sideways, But yeah, all you're doing is you're standing up there and you're doing
And you're just
minimal,
looking. You're not fishing.
minimal
Yeah.
corrections. You're
Yeah.
doing minimal corrections because you kind of got the distance. You're either going along the shore and you know where you're going. So obviously you wouldn't just blindly, you wouldn't do it after dark or something.
Yeah.
But you know where the boat's going, and so you're just kind of using the trolling motor to keep you in the same more or less depth zone or at the edge of the cover, the vanishing spot, whatever you want to look at.
So that's illegal in a tournament, right?
But I didn't say in a tournament.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. I was
It's
just saying,
practice.
making sure.
Yeah,
Have somebody standing in the bow and you're driving and you're
yeah.
like, yeah, they can't. do
Well,
that.
I've seen, that's it. Like, Havasu guys will go up river.
Yeah.
Hey, watch out for sandbars for me. It's like, well, you're supposed to be sitting there, but we're in a seat. You're not fishing, but having a guy on the bow looking.
for beds.
Well, no. This is like not a team situation. This was just people.
Yeah.
Get your butt up there and tell me I'm not going to hit in a sandbar, and steer me, which,
As long as he's got a life jacket on, I
Yeah.
guess, but you're
Yeah.
supposed to be sit
Yeah.
down. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's a lot of juice you're running, but yeah, if you look at it, they used to have the hours on your, like Minn Kota would tell you at 10 you only get this many hours, at whatever percentage it drops,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you get the idea. So
Yeah.
that's kind of your
Well,
best thing.
On my ionic batteries, they give you it goes to my phone, and I can see how long I can run it for.
Yeah.
At 10 at that.
Yeah.
And it'll be like 2 hours or something.
Yeah,
whatever, but
it's very small amount.
yeah, it is. It is a small amount.
And it's almost like fuel consumption in your car if you go
Yeah.
down to like 3/4 instead of where you're outward. Don't run it at wide open, run it at 3/4.
Yeah.
And you get a lot better gas mileage.
Mhm. So I have to stop myself and slow it down to 7 or whatever, and just be like, okay, this is just as fast as we're gonna go. This is it. If we're gonna fish all day today, this is what we're gonna be doing. Or look all day today.
I was gonna say, is that literally, this
It's
is only
usually-
Mojave or?
It's usually for beds.
Yeah.
And I'm going, and you gotta go through each frickin'.
I was gonna just ask you, that's because you're literally going through every bed.
Yes. That's what it is.
Every bay in a short area, maybe, not necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you get a better idea of what's going on, and you can
Yeah.
pare it down to maybe they're on the sunny side or the cool side, or
Yeah.
they're shadowed, or
Yeah.
they're.
Or Havasu
Or like,
has,
you know,
based on the current
You don't
coming downriver.
even turn
blows
the
into the.
big motor off until you see 10 feet on the freaking up and down. You know, 3/4 of the way back into the cove or whatever. But there's been, well, especially at Mojave, there'll be 6 beds on this side of the cove on a steep bluff, and there'll be nothing over there. And if you went down that side, you'd have just written the whole thing off.
Assume,
Yeah.
Yeah, you've fished probably more club derbies at Mojave than.
That's the only thing I've fished. I haven't fished Mojave with a big tournament in
It'll be interesting. I don't know, maybe it'll work out.
Well, I've never fished it in the fall either.
It's a quality of fish thing for sure. Just like anywhere else, but the quality of fish, it's amazing. It's a great fishery. See 6 and 7 pound smallmouth, like on the west coast, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. And I know they do have big smallmouth up north too, Northern California and all that kind of stuff. But for us, I mean, that's massive.
To be in the desert and to be 6 hours away from it, that's
Mhm.
it's a big deal.
I mean, they'd
The
be
quality, Havasu used to have big ones. It seems like to me Havasu, you don't see near as many 4-pound smallmouth in Havasu as we did at one point 10 years ago.
good. What do you
whatever.
what do you think is contributing to that?
2019 is when I started fishing there, and it seemed like there was quite a few 3.5 to high 3s
Mhm.
smallmouth in there. I don't know. The locals say one thing.
You don't want to point fingers, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we're only
All
there
I
for
know-
such a small window of time.
Yeah, all I know is what I see. It seems like I'm catching smaller ones, and it's just that's what it is. I can go to Mojave, and it seems like I'm still catching the same grade of smallmouth as I was 6 years ago,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I think that lake gets less fishing pressure, for sure. Mojave does, but it doesn't have all the habitat that Havasu does. So you're going to have to rely a lot more on traditional pattern fishing or fishing based on
Yeah.
seasonal changes, stuff like that. And then obviously you got to find the bait. The lake is so clear. It's the same thing. The fish are going to be here one day, gone the next.
Mhm.
You have a lot of stripers mixed into the situation, so they will push bait, eat bait, all that kind of stuff. But
Okay, so we have the U.S. Open coming up, beginning of October. Have you fished? You fished there in the fall.
I've fished a couple times in the fall, yeah, for fun. Yeah.
What is your prediction about that? How are you going to look at it? How are you going to look at that lake? What are you going to do?
Honestly, it's probably going to be bait is going to be important, and
I
then
know it was last year. That's what was said anyway.
Yeah.
And even the year before.
well, there's a lot of bait. So yeah, I mean, you may not have fish that you're catching. Some people like the stuff that isn't talked about as much as like baby stripers,
Right.
like alternative forage or different forage, non-traditional.
Uh-huh.
So like either baby stripers, bluegill, shad is kind of an obvious, crawdads is kind of an obvious thing, but there are in the fall at Mojave, Havasu, Mead, you get big clouds of baby stripers,
Yeah.
and so And baby stripers are kind of clueless still. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they're out there roaming around. They're kind of like, it's like, picture it more like sardines in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a mass. They're kind of just moving around. It might be like a group like the size of a swimming pool. And they're floating around, and then they come up on, they're curious about everything because they're so young and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll follow everything. So it kind of gives them away, because if you just see stuff twinkling on your graph, shad don't necessarily like run over to your drop shot or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
like if you're on striper, baby striper, whatever, they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna necessarily roam around, like disappear on you. They're probably gonna be like creek channel to up, you know, in an arm and stuff. So I would look at forage, like I would probably say it's gonna be bait oriented, but I would probably concentrate on gizzard, shad, and striper. Like,
There was a few years there
mhm.
where it seemed like it wasn't that, or the reports said that it didn't really have that to do, but it was more flats oriented, looking for fish, roaming fish, single fish.
Yeah, you got
Big
well,
ones.
in your case too. Like, so if they're in the fall, you're not necessarily, when you say you're looking for fish, you're not necessarily physically seeing them. You might see them on point on your electronics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other problem, is like being clear water. Like, if you're expecting to idle over and see fish 20 feet and stay there, and then you just shut the motor off, circle around, and come back past on, they're probably gone, they're spooked. So you might need to be looking at fish that are in 30 feet or 40 feet, over 50 feet, like deep water suspended stuff. And then just don't even worry about like visually connecting yourself to the bank. You know, it could be, or like grass flats, you might need to stay away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, is I fished it, and the lake kind of changes, you know, like I fished it year after year doing different things, and some years there's a lot of grass in some areas, some years it's scarce, some
Yeah.
years there's no bait, some years there's a lot of bait, you know, so
Mhm.
the lake is always going to change, but you still have to fish too what you're comfortable with. That lake, you can catch them drop shotting.
Yeah.
Like smallmouth love, you know, visual. They're gonna go after a drop shot, a little jig, all different kinds of things. So it's really gonna be about weeding the small fish, trying to find either better odds at catching bigger ones, or
Mhm.
try to pattern your bigger fish.
Hmm. Okay.
Like, say maybe, and you're not gonna necessarily find wolf packs of big ones.
Right.
And this is just hypothetical, but like say you have your big cove,
That's what I was saying. Is like single
Point-
fish. You're
point
looking
on
for
each
single fish.
side, you know, that looks great, juicy.
Yeah.
Your bay has a couple trees, giant grass patch in it, and then, you know, your point. So if you're going out to your point, I would start looking, you know, on your point, and then scan around and see if you see anything big on the point. Likely, if it's on a point, like a bare clean point, it's gonna be a smallmouth.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a largemouth, it probably needs wood or something there to relate. And then you go into your bay and you start seeing stuff as you get closer. That's, I would say generally that would be like your mid-grade fish, like roaming up and down. And that could be smallmouth, that could be bass still, like large green largemouth. And then as you get into the grass, you're more likely to find largemouth. And then if, like, say the back of your pockets have like good drainages or
Mhm.
ditch in them or something like that,
Yeah.
maybe a piece of wood or two, that might be also where your alpha, like your bigger largemouth might be. But
Mm-hmm.
it's different. I've fished it and I find different things. Sometimes you're just catching fish, and I'm not fishing it off long enough to
Yeah.
say, well, the best fish were here, the best fish were there, because I fished it maybe one day, and then I went out, like I fished the lower lake one day, and then I fished the middle of the lake the next day, and they fish differently because of the contours, you know,
Yeah.
like it's not so canyon, you know,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
little more
yeah.
flats and
Yeah.
and
Flatter up north.
shallower pockets and stuff. But that is the thing. That's my. And I don't want to go to a tournament and get your butt kicked or have your ass handed to you, if you want to say it that way. You know, like I want to go and be competitive and have a good time. You don't want to go to a tournament and just regret it or feel like you have no chance of doing anything. So. But it'll be different with a big field, and it'll be different.
Yeah.
A big field, I mean, you're not worried about your
I like
fish.
something
You're
small.
You're still fishing around a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So the more people you see, if you're catching fish, the more people you see, chances are they're catching those fish,
Mm-hmm.
or you're gonna be sharing fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned it before. You've made runs in Havasu where you went up into the river, right?
Oh yeah.
Where you go up to Bullhead or
Oh, I haven't.
You haven't done
I
a
haven't
Laughlin
done
run? Okay.
No.
Well,
I talked about it,
at
and I talked to
Mojave-
people about it, and whatever, and I've looked at it,
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's
and
kind
I've
of.
heard so many stories
commitment,
of
yeah.
what it,
Well, from Havasu
your
to
balls have to be like this big.
from Havasu to Laughlin. Well, from
It's
Havasu
like
to Laughlin.
3 feet deep,
From
and like
Havasu to
boiling
Laughlin,
all the way up,
yeah,
and you can
it's-
see it in front of the casino. Is like,
Yeah.
that's what it is for 40 miles
Yeah.
or 30 miles.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I've only
Oh
ever
my God.
I've launched at Laughlin on my little aluminum boat and gone down, and this was just randomly, and gone down, and we were still in Bullhead, and then I want to say one time I went into like Avi,
I know where to go.
and then
Like, I have a good idea of
Yeah.
what's happening to do that, but
Mhm.
no, I go to Needles. No, whatever. That's not
Yeah,
a big
Needles
deal.
is safe. Yeah,
But I don't.
but do you
I haven't
think?
made that run.
Yeah.
No. I don't even know if I could make that run, honestly.
Well, they
I
were
think I
talking it's like
can.
an hour and a half. You guys were talking about. We
Yeah.
were talking about the Havasu.
Yeah, I don't
Open.
think I have enough gas.
Well, you could fill up what in Pirates. Does Pirate have fuel? Topak does.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Topak has fuel.
Well, that would work then. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean that's where like, and guys have talked about fishing the U.S. Open and me like, oh, after back in the day, you have to fill
Yeah.
back up, or you
Yeah.
should fill back up, because when the lake was so much higher,
Yeah.
the distances were longer, so you'd go farther back, more
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
and maybe you're running around more on the engine, and so you're burning it. Plus, back in the day, you didn't have an Optimax, or you didn't have something that was
Right.
as good a fuel economy.
They
But
put bigger tanks in their boats. They put extra tanks in their boats.
Yeah.
But then obviously you can't do that now.
no, but your fuel economy's gotten better. But you're also trading horsepower and speed for fuel economy.
Uh-huh.
But the guys talk about like, oh, I had to fill back up at Temple, or I should have filled that at Temple, and I ran out,
Yeah.
and he was stuck,
Yeah.
things like that. But to me, it's weird. I'm comfortable at Meade to blast off from Colville and go 50 miles before I cast.
Yeah.
And then I'll start fishing, and maybe I'll go 50, maybe I'll go whatever, a little farther, 10 miles more,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And then I'll work my way back, and then based on how it's going and where I see people, like, that hopscotch back and forth.
I can go
Like,
40 miles.
yeah,
And I have to go slow though.
and then you're itching like, oh,
I
I
have to go
got
40 miles an hour. Takes me an hour to get up there. It'll take me an hour. I gotta go 40 miles an hour.
on the where?
On Mojave.
Oh, because of what?
Fuel efficiency, fuel
Really?
economy, yeah. I only have 25 gallons.
Really?
Something like that. 30 gallons?
You only have under tank seats or in the back? I mean, sorry, under
Yes.
tank fuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a 184 champion, they called it. It was 1990.
Yeah.
Had 52 gallon gas capacity.
I talked to these other guys with 188s and they have 50 gallons.
Yeah, and I'm just
Just
like,
the year older. The next year they
yeah,
started putting
whatever
50 gallon
they- yeah.
tanks in them.
And I was just like, what the hell do I
And
need
I-
50 gallons for?
Not mine.
And I've never, I mean, a boat like, and mine had a 150, and then it was rated to a 175. But if you put a new like 175 Pro XS on it,
Yeah.
I mean, that thing would probably fly. But
That's what Jim's has.
um,
He's got a 184 with a 175.
really, Optima, the brand new 4-stroke Pro
No,
XS.
no.
Oh,
It's a old. It goes 8. I think it'll go 60. In
It
fact,
should.
I don't know.
it should.
Yeah.
Yeah. My little boat was fast, but it was kind of narrow.
Mm-hmm.
But there's your trade-off right there too. I mean, it was good. It was good in rough water, but it was also a very small boat.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you needed to travel far, that 50 gallons, I guess, would work.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't have to worry about that. But I just have to worry
So
about
you-
the gas. So I get
that's-
gas at Cottonwood, which is really a pain in the ass.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say is that I was gonna ask you if
It
that
took
makes
us
you round trip.
45 minutes to get gas at Cottonwood. We had to go find the guy, come down, unlock the pump, that kind of bullshit. It's not like Havasu where you just pull up and
Their pump is there.
put your card in and fucking go.
When's the last time you did that? This year or last
At
year?
Cottonwood?
Yeah.
This May. In May. Yeah. Yeah, it was a pain.
So you're gonna fish the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And you've been on Mojave.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So you've been on Mojave. So if fuel is not a question,
Yeah.
where are you willing to run?
If fuel wasn't a question?
Yeah, like say,
I haven't run up past the
what's the
only
farthest you fished?
where it's steep and necks down,
Okay,
and it's like a little dog leg,
that's like, yeah, 40.
and then I've gone 5 miles past that.
Okay,
Really, maybe 5 miles.
yeah.
It starts cooling off there. That's where it starts
yeah.
cooling off
Yeah, yeah.
to me. So I've only fished below there. Well, if I had gas, I would run anywhere I needed to run.
Well, I was to say, have you ever practiced by launching at Willow Beach?
No, I have not.
You don't want to tempt yourself, or you just
But-
never thought about it?
I launch at Cottonwood and do that whole thing. But if I can't get up there,
That's what your limitation is.
see, I can
Yeah.
just do the same thing from Cottonwood.
Yeah.
I can just run from Cottonwood and it's only 20 miles,
Mm-hmm.
or if that, something like that.
To go what, south?
No, to go up there to the little neck where it next.
Oh yeah, neck. Yeah, that's about 20. Yeah.
I don't know what that's called.
Well, there's a couple different things up there. I fish them. I talk on paper maps, and the guys are like, "What's that? I've never heard of that." I'm like, "That's what it says on the paper map.
Yeah.
And that's what it says on your chart." No, or I never pay attention to the names, So that's different. But no, I know where you're talking. And that's the thing is, usually if I'm there in the fall, if I'm doing something, I'm either in Catherine's or Cottonwood.
Uh-huh.
Usually, I might be in Catherine's, and so I may be fishing in Catherine's, and I may not. I definitely don't want to run. If I know I'm fishing Catherine's, I don't usually run past Cottonwood. I'm just fishing around Catherine's because there's a lot of place to cover, and usually you're gonna run into fish. If I'm
There
in
is.
Cottonwood, then I decide I'm going north or I'm going south.
Yeah.
And if I'm going south, I'm probably not fishing for the first 10 miles,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mhm.
start a spot. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't fish in the bowl too much. I never fish the east. Well, I can't say I never. I never fish the east side in the bowl or too close to the bowl. Like, I don't know. I've got milk runs and stuff. I don't know if they'll hold the damn thing like in a tournament. I mean, you might pull up. That's the other thing is you might pull up. You might have the best stuff marked. Well, welcome to the community. Like everybody knows.
Oh yeah.
So there's trees on this flat right here. And then
I'm the only one that knows about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That's where you find the situation of the bait
Oh man.
just coming into a certain area. You might have it more to yourself because it could be a timing thing.
Yeah.
A day where it comes in
Mm-hmm.
and then feeds, and then that's what triggers the fish. But yeah, I mean, that's like the San Diego mentality. I'll waypoint all kinds of things on my fish finders as spots for fish to sit. And I mark boulders, I mark just all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah.
I kind of mark my graph on my waypoints so I know what they are. Obviously, you don't just use a dot
Right.
or whatever.
No, you.
And then I start
you gotta
using
label.
notes now, like
Did you?
I'll cheat.
Have you?
I'll be like, boulder on the
Yeah.
steep side of this or that, or I try and get it a little descriptive so
Mhm.
that I can say, I'll remember it. But when I'm scrolling through waypoints, I'll still, if I'm going through the area, I'll start clicking on them and see what they are.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get like several things on one side or one spot,
Mhm.
and the fish are gonna be on them.
Mhm.
But like sometimes my waypoints are so scattered, it's not like I have a pattern on my waypoints or won't have a pattern on my waypoints.
Yeah.
It might be coves. Like, they're in this cove, maybe they'll be in this one.
Right, because it looks the same.
And then, it
Yeah, the
lays
same
out the same.
characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be good because then you just start running that for a while, and if it works,
Yeah.
So you're gonna fish it as a boater or co-angler?
As a boater.
Either way, I think it's a fun tournament. I think it's gonna be more challenging for the co-angler because of the boater, how they're fishing for sure. And I know of some boaters that the way they fish, the co-angler is either supposed to be there with a standby
Mhm.
or telling them don't cast until this or that. So, that's kind of a bad deal to be a co-angler and be on the boat, and you're like a dog, you know, and you're
Yeah.
waving the bone and you're waiting for the guy to throw it so you can go after it. But I would want to. I try to include my co-angler as much as possible
Sure.
on my events.
Me too. I have a problem with that. In fact, I think it, especially with the club tournaments. Club tournaments are different, and I really make an effort to make sure that they have a chance, they have a good time. It's always in the back of my head, and I will feel really bad. And sometimes I'll be like, I have to go down this bank. I'm gonna have to put you in the sticks. You're gonna not catch anything, but I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And
But
I
you
feel
guys are
really bad
competing-
doing it.
You guys are competing against each other.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Because it's co or pro, more or less, it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
You're not fishing against the other guys driving their boats. You're fishing against everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's the case, those people are kind of like signed up for it.
That's a club tournament.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's it should be more of a friendly thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not intimidated by the guy in the back of the boat, and I want to make sure they have a good time, kind of thing. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy when Zoe catches a 5-pounder. You know, like that makes my day.
Yeah. As long as you didn't need it. No.
Well, yeah, even so. But but that's club fishing, and but to do it, you know, and it doesn't matter because we're both on the same team at Mojave.
Are you gonna practice with someone in Mojave?
No, I haven't planned on it. My practice schedule at Mojave is really skewed at this point because I'm gonna have to go and practice and then leave because we have a tournament at the lower river, a club tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna practice one day, fish it's a Friday, Saturday, and then come back Saturday night and fish Sunday, and then the open starts Monday.
Wait. So you're going what day? To Mojave?
I don't know yet.
And you're gonna practice?
Yeah, I'm gonna practice like 3 or 4 days.
Then you're going to practice one day on the river.
On the lower river.
And it's a Friday, Saturday?
So I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Saturday after the tournament, you drive back to Mojave?
Yeah.
And are you on the water at all on Sunday?
Yeah.
Half day?
Yeah. Because whatever, we got that meeting.
Yeah, whatever's allowed. Well, there used to be a day off. Like, then it was all of a sudden like, oh, you have half a day until noon or 2 or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
So it's kind of changed. It used to be
Yeah.
a day off. Like,
Yeah.
You don't fish.
Right.
So it's different now. But yeah, I'm just curious. Some people love to be on the water like as much as possible. And some people, it depends on what you're doing. If you're
Yeah.
refining your pattern, for sure, obviously you need to take the time.
Right.
If you're scrambling, still trying to put something together, then no, yeah. But I mean, it could be either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say the weather depending on the weather forecast too. You could be hoping for wind. I would say,
Mhm.
some wind,
Mm-hmm.
but that place, I don't know. It definitely, obviously, it's like anything else. Any other clear water fishery, they like it when it's windy. You need some wind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in May, that's the way it was. But that was shallow water fish. It was different.
I
You
fished
had
it
to
in the
have wind.
fall, and I fished it in the fall, and it's windy was good. But it is different. A guy throwing a jig or a worm is not going to want wind.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I may see you there. We'll see. As of
But you
now,
don't even know if you're gonna fish it?
as of
I
now,
thought for sure you were gonna fish it.
no.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I wanted to go to Mead, and it's going to be stretching it now. Like I don't know. I mean, traditionally at Mead, I stay in Colville, which is right there where the launch is. There's a RV park,
Oh, yeah.
and they have some spots that are open that they rent out for people to pull in a trailer or whatever. So I have a cab over camper, so I'll drop that down
Yeah.
and right next to a shower,
Mm-hmm.
a bathroom.
Yeah.
And then I have gas for the boat, like 1 minute away, and
Mhm.
the launch ramp is 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
And then so I do that, but I don't think my truck's gonna be done in time. So then I put it in the house, and then all this other stuff's going on. So it's like, I don't know that I'll make it. I want to, but realistically, I know I shouldn't.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go to Mojave. Otherwise, I was like, I haven't even thought about fishing Mahogany. Like, it's one of those things. I've already put it out of my brain.
Yeah.
But I do want to do it just to see how it is. If it's as bad as I think, or if it's going to be better, or whatever. If it's good, you know. I guess it's one of those things for. Is it worth the price of admission? You know, to find out. If we pick, okay, here's probably your last question for you. If we pick of the USO or of the Wombass series, say he has 5 events again, right, next year.
Yeah.
So we have Shasta, Clear Lake, Havasu, Mojave, and Meade. You know, if you could pick, I'll give you 3, which is pretty easy. You should be able to pick 3.
Yeah.
Which ones are you going to?
Well, I've never been to Clear Lake. And I would just like to go, just to see it and go fishing there.
Well, just as I'm not biased,
and I'm good.
Just as someone that's been there, I would say that would be your number 1 lake to choose. If you only had, if you had 3, 3 out of 5, and you're going to be guaranteed to fish them.
I don't want to go to Shasta, but I would.
Clear Lake should be number 1.
So
for just fish catching.
I kind of said that.
Yeah.
And then Havasu, I know I can catch them at Havasu. I didn't last time, and it bothers me.
So you want redemption?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you do well in your club, for sure.
I don't,
you smash them. Pretty good.
Heck? I think I spin out. I have a mental problem.
Decisions are a big part of tournament fishing.
They are huge.
And it might not be what bait to throw. It might be where to go. It might be what bait to throw and not where to go, But decisions.
I felt outclassed last time I was there.
Really?
And I felt like I wasn't on them, which obviously I wasn't. And I had enough time to find them, but I just don't know. Then I just tell myself I don't know the lake that well. But I should be able to go
yourself out.
I should be able to go to a lake and find the right quality fish to at least place in the top. Whatever.
But you don't think you
want to cut a check. I just want to cut a check.
But did you not think this last year? Did you not think that you were on the right caliber fish to even get a check?
Oh yeah.
You were.
No,
you weren't.
I wasn't. I was not.
Was it because it was so random in between, or the ones you were catching were all the same size?
I was not catching big ones. I wasn't catching 4-pounders.
And this is purely from Wombass. Did you fish the Anglers Marine Tournament?
No. Just one bass.
But to place and to realistically, to say you're on all 4-pounders, if you're on them in practice, usually you're not gonna have, from what I've seen, I don't think they last. Guys either storm out them or the conditions change.
Okay.
So for me, and you just said you think you weren't on it. I'd rather myself, it would weigh a little bit on like worrying about the quality of fish, but knowing the day by day conditions changing, I just want to be around the fish and then that day figure out if I can figure out what the bigger bite is doing. If you can get one, or if you catch them that quick, then you could spend all your time hunting for big ones. But in practice, I don't want to win practice on any of my events. I'm just looking for fishy areas to catch them. Maybe if I can catch them several different things, like if I have the idea they're going to be on this and they're not, but I can catch them on this in the same place, I still have my backup. Or I don't need them to be full speed, like just chewing when I show up, because that never usually happens. But like to know you're around fish, places like, and it depends on what you're on and what time of year, but lakes like that, the fish may not necessarily be gone completely in the spring, like in the spring. They're probably backed out or uptight, but they probably didn't leave those areas, so you just have to figure out where they went.
Right. I understand that.
But you don't think in the areas you're fishing, you don't think the caliber was there at all? Something's telling you that.
Well, no, that's not true because I mean I found I was in an area of good fish, bigger fish that didn't bite. It had been biting for the previous weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I had been getting reports from people that had caught good fish in those areas, and then we didn't catch them. I had resort, and I fell back onto my strengths and whatever, which is shallow water fishing.
That's the biggest problem I have with Havasu is the crowds. Everybody knows like what fish do there, and so like they can congregate on things. So it makes me feel like sometimes I would be fishing against too many guys. You're sharing the area too much. I don't necessarily want to do that. You want to feel like you're free to have a milk run or several spots open.
Right.
So that kind of turns you off a little bit, and it buffers your fishing. But I don't know. I think also those areas that people fall back on are so pressured that it's common for them not to bite. And so that's where I wouldn't even focus on it. That would be my fallback, not a primary.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then me being same thing, like if I'm comfortable running at Mead that far, I'd usually say, where can I go at Havasu that would leave me more water, less competitors, that still has the chance of good fish. And so then I'd be looking to run, south. I wouldn't run up in the river expecting to get big ones in the rivers, but like there's a lot of water down south.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places, and depending on time of year and stuff, you could definitely get right pretty quick. You may not have the luck into like the 6-pound largemouth that goes along with your 4-pound smallies or whatever. But if you put yourself in potential with your limit of 4-pounders or whatever it is, all you need is that one extra bite.
Yeah.
You may not need it every day. You may just need it in one day out of 3 per tournament.
So, yeah. Okay.
Like, what are you gonna do with Mojave? Back to your 3.
So I don't know. Okay,
Havasu,
so
Clear Lake. And then
Havasu, Clear Lake, and Mojave.
You still don't want to go to Mead.
I've never been to
It's a
Mead,
big giant.
and I can't. I do want to go to Mead. I used to have this mindset of Mead of I am never going to Mead. And why would anybody drive up there for 10 pounds a day, 9 pounds a day? Why would anybody put themselves through that?
It used to be like that maybe, but there's times.
But
where
I know, but it's
now
different now.
biting. Well,
It's
that,
different.
yeah, without all the pressure and the stuff on the water, fish is better. But it's the same thing. It kind of goes through, comes and goes. And if you're fun fishing, you might go out there and catch 17 pounds.
So I'm open to going to Mead.
Yeah.
For sure. But I know Mojave better than, obviously better than Mead. So I would probably go to Mojave and spend my money on Mojave again.
Yeah.
But I'm open to going to Mead. I just have never been there. That's all. And it's a big lake, and it's like, my boat's not that big. Like, I'm not worried about the weather. I'm worried about gas.
Yeah. I can see
That's
that.
the thing. That's the thing. Like, I can make Echo Bay, but it's going to take me a while to get to Echo Bay. I mapped it out. I've done all the mileages. I've done all this and that. And it's just far. That's all.
It is.
And I'll run up there in a heartbeat. But it's going to take me a while, and I'm going to lose, 2 hours out of the day driving.
Have you ever thought about borrowing a boat to fish anything?
No. I know Ender used to do that. He used to take Jim Slights boat. Because he only had a smaller boat. So, no, I guess that could be an option. I don't like thinking that way.
Yeah, I don't want to borrow somebody's equipment.
No.
That's the thing, is like even borrowing a truck for the time I needed it just to have. I mean, I could have rented one, but same thing, it's like, I guess I should have rented one. I just rented one. But like Mead, if I want to go to Mead, my wife's like, oh, just look at this RV. We're looking at an RV. And
Yeah.
now I'm going to launch the RV, or I'm going to launch the boat
Yeah.
with the RV
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. I'm like, that's going to be impossible to
That
turn
truck
around.
is the way to go. I mean,
And so I'm like, now I just have to put it myself in the house. I'm going to drive more.
right.
And then it's one of those things. I think it's getting too close in time. It'll be too rushed. So maybe
Clear Lake and Havasu
and Mojave
next
Tier
year,
3.
and then we'll figure out Mead or Mojave later. All right, there you go.
I'd say we go. I say we take a fun trip. Go fish Mead, and then we'll report back to everybody on how it goes. That's the one thing I miss. Okay, here's the one thing I miss. San Diego is so competitive that guys don't openly fish with new people.
So yeah, like
Secrecy.
it's.
I'm not wrong, correct?
You are not wrong.
I mean, but
You
like
are
that's the
not
thing is
wrong.
like I know people that I fish with.
It's hard to
There,
go. Like
or
I want to
against.
go. I want to go fish with Andy. Andy's not going to take me fishing.
Anywhere?
I think he will, but then, he's really closed mouth.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't. He's very. I don't know if you would say he's very good about that, but he's very secretive with what they do or what they see and what they talk about.
I think a lot of people are in San Diego because the water's so small, for sure.
That's right. Yeah.
And everybody figures stuff out so easily on San Diego because the lakes are so small.
Yeah.
You could see a lot of the people
We see each
competing.
other.
So all you need to know is if you're paying attention while you're fishing, looking around, you're going to see people go by you or fishing around you. And then at the end of the day, when you figure out who won, you might say, oh, well, this guy was here 4 hours in a day. And you say, okay, well, I know what he was sitting on. So now all of a sudden you know what's going on. But
Yeah.
I'd like a travel trip would be a great one. Because you're going to new water, you're just going fishing. You're just going fishing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For San Diego, that's why I'm like, people ask me why am I not fishing? It's like, well,
That is really a good subject.
who am I going to fish with?
Yeah. Like we should probably just do a whole other podcast on this. But
That's why.
partners, why you have them and why you have some people and why you
Yeah.
have some and the secretive of it and the size
Yeah.
of the lakes and what
Yeah.
we have to deal with here is
Next
it's
week.
probably another freaking
That's a whole nother
next
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah. Well,
We can talk about an hour about
Yeah,
this.
at least.
And there's
Yeah.
some good questions that would come
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. I mean, there's several reasons for sure.
And those are some of the best.
Yeah.
And they're blatant. It's what it is. You look down the lake, he's over there fishing. I see him weigh in. He's second place. He's got 18 pounds. It's not a brain surgery for me to go in the next 2 days to go over there and look at it.
Yeah. Way back and I mean, people that have fished or been in San Diego long enough know that I fished with a few different people. The best tournament fishing I've experienced was actually with my wife. It lined up that way.
Uh-huh.
I fished with one of my friends the year before, a couple years, and we had some success. We won a night tournament, we won a day tournament, we placed several times. But it's just one of those things. You get fellow fishermen, and it goes into this whole thing we could open up, but it's like you get guys with difference of opinion, guys that want to do a certain thing,
Yeah.
believe we're going to be fishing this or that.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's like, oh, I think we should be doing this and that.
Yeah.
Well, who's putting the most time in the water? Is it complementing each other, or do
Mhm.
we compete against each other? And that's all part of it. Like, you don't want to be competing against your teammate while you're trying to catch the same fish.
Mhm.
But like fishing with her, she's like, why do you want to fish with me? I don't know hardly anything. I can only do. I said, that's perfect. I said, you're positive though?
Yeah.
If I ask you to do something, you will.
Yeah.
You'll put it on there. I'll give you 3 things to do. And then I'll say, hey, throw this here. Do
Well, that's why Jim and I are probably still together at this point, because there is no arguments. We always agree, like,
Yeah.
and I always try and you know, what have you seen? And what do you have any? Do we need
still
to
wanna
go?
take
Do we need to go
information
do
in.
this?
Yeah, information
instead of
is
what
good.
I'm doing.
Take in as much information as you can,
Yeah.
and then formulate your game plan or what's the best of or whatever.
But we've never gotten into. We need to go fish swim baits. No, we need to go fish worms
Yeah.
or jigs.
Yeah.
You know, it's never been that way.
Yeah.
It's always it's super easy going, but then again, we're not winning either.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
want to
know-
be competitive. I don't want to just be out there to be out there for sure.
I mean that's a fact. We were 30th. You know, maybe we do need to be more like, yeah, we need to do this or something.
Mhm.
I don't know, but
Another time. But definitely complement each other would be good. Not competing against each other for
Mhm.
sure.
oh yeah, for sure.
But it is, you know, it comes back into San Diego for sure. The small place.
Yeah.
Matt, okay, here's the last question.
Okay. Last question.
Last question. Would you be inclined to or interested in fishing an open tournament out here where you got paired up with somebody randomly and you fished? Say we had a series.
Well, that's why
But
I
they
don't
did a
fish.
draw.
That's why I don't enter the draws as a non-boater at the club.
Oh.
But that's club level,
Mhm.
also.
So say, and this is gonna be tricky because then it's gonna divide the guys.
So you go into a draw, an open tournament, go into a draw at San Vicente, and so we're gonna flip a coin to see whose boat we take.
No. You'd have guys that are gonna be backseaters, and then you have guys that are gonna be the boaters.
So I would be a backseater.
No, it'd be your choice. Like you would enter it, but would you just participate, or would you be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this?
Oh, and they're fishing against me.
Whoever, yeah. No, you're still fishing against like pro versus pro and co versus.
Oh.
Say it's a Bass Federation deal, like that.
Okay.
Bass Federation
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
is your boater against boater, co against co.
What about it? You don't think you wonder if I would?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Do you find it like that's the thing is like some people don't want to do that. They want to do a team.
Oh yeah. No, I want to do that. I want to go fish the Bass Federation. For some reason, I haven't done it yet.
I haven't
wanna
for a
go
long
see how I
time. I
am.
wanted to
I
do it,
wanna
but
go
then it was
see-
like it was always a day after
Yeah.
something else, and I was like, oh.
I want to go.
Or-
Yeah, it's always
or
on
I'd be working,
Sundays. It's
yeah.
always on.
But I
there's
like
some
it.
kind of-
It's a
some kind
good.
of
It's a
weird
good thing.
That's the only single tournament as you're on your own in
Mhm.
San Diego.
Mhm.
Does it scare me? No, I want to see how I do against those other
That's
guys.
the thing is like I guess it
head to head.
puts you out there against them, and
Because I know what I can
Smaller
do. The
fields
only other
sometimes.
place that I do that in is at club level, and it's nothing against the guys in my club, but there's really like only a handful of us that are in the top.
you're always rotating.
We're always
Top
rotating
10
first
for
five
those guys or
spots
whatever,
or top whatever. So, and then the other thing is too, is like I've been in a club tournament the same day as a federation tournament.
Oh really?
And I've won the club tournament with 12 pounds, and the federation comes in, and I wouldn't have been in the top 10. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, oh my God, that was kind of eye-opening. And I knew it was in the back of my head that it was kind of that way, but you know, it showed me that it really is that way.
Do you think the difference was you?
And I love my club. Don't get me wrong. I fish with them 10 times a year.
But do you think that was your mentality of like worrying about angler of the year points? It had you fishing
Well,
differently, or you didn't think you were?
That is a good
catch.
point. But I won.
With 12.
I mean, that's just an example. I just remember that one time it happened that way.
Okay.
And it wasn't a federation tournament, it was a national Bass West.
Okay.
And I came in with 12 pounds or whatever, and then 12 pounds went and caught in the top 10.
And you guys launched. Well, that was when everybody was launching, pretty much.
And we got launch and go, so we
Yeah.
had pick of the place.
Really?
Yeah. Those guys came out behind us. This was in 2018. This was a long time ago. But it's still, I still knew.
Weighs in your mind.
Yeah. Still weighs in my mind, for sure.
Clear Lake this year was a big deal. Like, I didn't go, but like watching Clear Lake, been there, watching it with the fish, the caliber of fish they were catching
Yeah.
all winter.
Yeah.
It was gonna be a smash fest.
No, I thought you did. I think you were there.
I didn't go up there this spring. No.
Didn't you help John rig his baits?
No.
Like John?
That was last year.
That was last year.
Mm.
It was 2 years
That
ago.
was MLF. Yeah.
Okay.
Time flies. I mean, we're starting to blur into things, but yeah, I do that now. But that was last spring.
Okay.
That was last. That was so wait. That was a February event,
Mm-hmm.
and then so this year they had it. It was what, April,
Yeah.
but it didn't go. But the quality of fish that they were catching, like that lake is amazing. What they hadn't had is a big die-off because of the rain and things like that. They didn't, whatever reason, it didn't. It's been fishing really good. I saw it after the last Federation tournament, things like that. When if they don't get water, too much rain, the lake is clear, the lake is down, the lake fishes where the fish see all that food that's in there,
Mm-hmm.
it just explode.
Yeah.
Super healthy.
Yeah.
Sometimes the problem is in their summertime, they get a lot of heat, they get algae bloom, they get whatever. They also probably spray too
Yeah.
much on top of that, so
Yeah.
that goes back into killing stuff.
Yeah.
But Clear Lake is by far, I mean, it was ranked #1 in the country.
Yeah. I know.
But Clear Lake is,
Yeah.
it could be amazing, but it could also be humbling.
Sure.
But to go up there knowing that people are catching like 40-pound bags or.
How about that Wayne George? That guy fished well this year.
Yeah.
I was super happy for
Yeah.
him. Like he did well there. He did good at Havasu.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know if he's planning on going to meet or anything, but
I think he is.
probably,
He's not
I would-
sure. Well, he's not sure.
Sure.
I think he's maybe talking Mojave. He's got, I mean, not to let it out, but he's got some family member health issues. And so he's kind of up in the air about it. He said, I talked to him at
All
Otay,
right. Yeah.
when I was on the water that morning, I think. But, yeah, so yeah, he's fishing good. Confidence is king. Confidence makes a
Yeah,
difference
he's
in
on
how
a
you
roll.
fish.
For sure.
That's part of how when it was when I was fishing with my wife. It
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
you're making good decisions, you're more
Yeah.
open to it, and
Yeah.
you just float. I mean, I had tournaments where the day before, all it was like, okay, on a Friday, okay, I found some fish over here, I found a lot of bait doing this and that, I think I'm gonna start here. And then it's like, bam, you have the area yourself, fish are there, you're feeding, all of a sudden you have 20 whatever pounds. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. Put some practice time in, things work out. But confidence makes you fish differently for sure.
It does. Definitely does.
I think we do need to get into the whole fishing people,
I'm gonna wrap that down.
the small, you know, who would you fish with or why won't you, things like that. That's for guys that don't know or don't see it. That's a big deal. And it's obvious to some people because there might be trust issues. You're afraid of people stealing your spots. I don't know. I'd like to be able to go out of town and fish tournaments with people. The new ABA circuit next year. We were talking about that in the.
Where the desert?
They're they're team elites.
Oh yeah.
They're $25,000 for a 1 day.
Yeah.
I read a little bit about
You're gonna
that.
go. You're gonna go fish all 4 of them?
No, I'm just saying I read into it a little bit, but
Yeah.
they're limiting it to 75 boats.
Yeah.
They're paying 10 places mainly, and then they do like 4 random draws. I mean,
Oh,
I
really?
read the
10
paperwork.
places. So it's all so it's
Yeah,
it's
there's
top heavy.
good fish weight.
Well, that
there's
makes sense.
Yeah,
Now that makes
the
more
10th
sense.
place I think is still $2,000, so you get your entry back plus because it's $1,000.
10th out of 75, huh?
But if you look at it, do you want to be in a tournament where they pay 40 places back?
That's always
and then
been.
you get a
it's-
couple $100.
it's
You feel
always
like,
been-
oh, I got something.
You know, one way or the other. Gym pays down to make everybody
Yeah.
feel good. ABA is top heavy.
But if you know it going into it, then how can you complain about stuff?
I'm more interested in the ABA desert lakes with $10,000 first place.
I'll have to look into that one. Single day still?
Single day.
It's a team tournament still?
I don't think it's I think it is a team tournament. Yeah.
I mean, that's what these are. These are like 25,000
so
team.
It's Mead, Mojave, like Mead. Yeah, I think it's just those two lakes.
That's unusual.
And I guess
No,
I was
Roosevelt.
I was talking to Todd yesterday, and he says there to be a part of that, there's another $100 buy-in, which I guess that helps do whatever.
What do you mean $100 like a membership?
No, like you pay your $300, and then if you want to be part of this $10,000 purse, it's another $100.
Hmm. We're getting into MLF stuff here. No,
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, where did they get that money from? Like, that doesn't. They get it from Vegas? Is Vegas throwing money at this?
Casino sporting.
Yeah. And so I don't know, but
Maybe
they
it's
are
a big organization for sure. They've got a lot of
it's,
states and a lot of.
they did it last year.
Hmm.
Todd got second in one of them. Halverson.
Oh. Hmm. Me, well, that's the thing is me.
But I don't
is
know
the
what second
equalizer,
place is.
too.
If it's
Well,
it's not. I don't think it's $5,000, but maybe it was. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I have to look into it again.
Yeah.
But it is happening. So there's this one with the 4
That's elite. Yeah, they call it the
team.
team elites or elite teams.
Yeah, and then there's this other one.
And that's only in Nevada.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's 3. Interesting.
Mm.
I have a hard enough time finding someone that wants to go fish a tournament out of town. Like if I asked, I can put it out there on social media or all of San Diego. I don't know how many guys are going to say, yeah, I'll go.
What
Because
out of town?
most guys-
Roosevelt? Pleasant?
Anything.
What do you mean?
Most guys will be like, oh, I don't want to go get my butt kicked by the locals.
Oh, I don't care about that.
That's where I'm like, it's like fun fishing. I like new water and stuff, but.
Makes you feel better about yourself when you do good. Like you were able to go and,
Well, like,
and,
okay,
to find
so
them and catch them
Parker,
and beat them.
Parker and Eddie,
Ooh, yeah.
they,
Oh.
you know, admittedly, I talked to them. He's like, yeah, we didn't practice. He's like, we just kind of showed up. He's like, I've been over here at this lake. I've been over here at this lake. And so he's like, it's been like a month since I've been on the water.
Yeah,
Fishing the conditions, right?
good for him.
That's how I feel exactly. And like, you guys showed up, fished, started out. You know, maybe it wasn't working on. You know, they said, oh, Sam B wasn't working out,
So
he
he-
had to just
Yeah,
scrounge around and
that
make-
first
make
morning
some
he was at
bounty.
Otay, so he caught 10, maybe even 11, 12 pounds at Otay, and that gave him the freedom to go do that other stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of,
Well, you gotta fish
he
the
could
wind,
shake it
too.
off and then
Yeah.
go and look for this other stuff,
Yeah.
which he's good at fishing,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And he was able to pick away at him. He got 4 bites, or whatever. I don't know. Sounds like it. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
But it
yeah.
did
You
free him
gotta
up.
fish to win mentality though, for sure.
That when you, for me especially, when I get that first 5 fish or whatever, it's just like
Relief, yeah.
and now I can go fishing,
Yeah, I understand.
or more, more so, like I'm gonna stretch my legs a little bit instead of having that freaking yoke. Unless you have that, you come into that mentality and you already have that pattern of I'm gonna get 5 bites in the day. That's a totally different deal.
Mhm. All right.
Okay, that's good. What is
We'll
this?
wrap up another
Oh my
day.
God, 2.5 hours. Thank you very much.
Sure.